This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Azuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob CC, Mikta Rabentau, Sapa Chakwatol, Edwin, Arcadia Lunashine, Pamela Isley, Camille Grinno, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelis, Mira Miri, Suno Chicano, Celestau Nautrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Storm Arrow, Tex, Kylin, Anethus Moonscar, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Cheshire Saltiri, Celine DeLune, Webster Wolf, Face On Masher, Severa, Circa Barracuel, and AJ Brainswordson. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 333. I'm Lakil Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and Rolodes.
Hello.
Hello. We are halfway to hell. We're halfway to hell.
What?
333. Halfway to
Living
hell.
on a trell?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We're living on a prel. It is January 14th, 2023, and today is our 6.3 Spoilercast special episode. So we won't talk about spoilers yet, so if you, for some reason, haven't done MSQ or the Alliance stuff, then the second half of this show is probably not for you, but you can safely watch the first half, because we're just going to talk about recent event stuff relating to the launch of the patch, not any story-related stuff, but after that, you're gonna have to leave if you haven't done the story. Patch 6.3, that is the main topic today. We might... I don't know how we're doing Mogmail today. I think we don't have time. I'm just making that decision now. We're not doing Mogmail because we have so much to go through today. Stay tuned. So tentatively, stay tuned for the post show. We'll be answering questions from the syndicate. If we run out of time, we might convert this to an XL episode. We are starting this a little late because we were covering an MGP event, like we said last week. So
Niches of the niche.
yeah, so we're a little late. That's the show. 6.3 Spoilercast. All right, let's get started with recent events. All right, in recent events, starting off, we got a little problem with 6.3. It was ironically because they were trying to fix the servers or make them better. They inadvertently made them worse instead. On January 10th, on the Lodestone, they posted a message, known issues after patch 6.3. As of January 10th, 2023, we have identified the issues listed below. The issues are being investigated and addressed, and additional information will follow as the situation develops. Current known issues. Disconnecting from servers may occur due to heavy server loads during peak times, causing servers to go down in certain situations. Client may freeze or crash due to heavy loads from running the client for an extended period in certain situations. Now, I'll finish it. With the above two issues, there may be an issue with the measures introduced with patch 6.3 that were supposed to reduce the burden on the servers. So this investigation is taking the highest priority. We ask for your patience as we work on resolving these issues. We apologize for the inconvenience. So they made it worse, but trying to make it better. then they updated it January 13th, so yesterday, 4:30 a.m. PST. The above issues have been addressed and countermeasures have been taken during the maintenance performed from January 12th, 2023, 10 p.m. to January 13th, 1:20 a.m. PST. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. What they're referring to is an emergency maintenance that then, happened.
Yes. So did anyone...
Well, I noticed it. We saw it live on stream because we were doing Kefka. Irrelevant what duty we were doing, but while we were doing Kefka, it is a kind of freeze that I've never seen before. I thought it was my computer because I've been forced to upgrade to 11 again, but it froze the whole client, like the whole game. My computer froze for like a few seconds, which I don't know what kind of measures they've made to make like the client so broken.
It didn't exactly work the same way for me. It just lagged out for me, but I have heard similar issues as what you've had with other people.
Yeah.
Did anyone else have anything worse than that? Did like they get the client actually just crash, or was that as worse that any of us experienced?
No.
I haven't had any issues.
I had some micro stuttering, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't full on freezes early on, like earlier in the week, but I haven't had anything like that since.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they claim that it's over, that it was finished with emergency maintenance, but the emergency maintenance was before we streamed. So when we had that hiccup yesterday, because they finished emergency maintenance at 10 a.m. yesterday, and we obviously stream like 12 hours later almost. So I don't think they've fixed it completely. But
I mean, it doesn't seem... I mean, it's very possible that no one's had crashes since then, at least.
No, at least they've removed the crashes. But
the critical ones are gone.
But I can imagine, like, if I get that again, like, say, if you're doing Savage or, God forbid, like, Ultimate, that freeze can mean everything, you know?
Well, hey, at least it happened during the kind of lesser important patch of the catch-up patch.
Yeah, that's true.
And not when Ultimate came out.
Yeah.
The 8-man raids were out too.
Yeah. So that's I mean, they fucked up. they fucked up and made the game bad, but it's fine. At least people aren't crashing anymore.
Ultimately, it's a good thing that they're trying to make it more stable.
That's true.
It didn't work this time.
I mean, their intentions are good. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Another interesting thing that happened over the past week is Yoshi-P talking about 7.0 level cap and beyond, essentially.
Oh, I was confused. I read that as 70 because the dot fades into Foxconn's shirt.
Yoshi-P on life after 70.
Life after 70.
It only gets worse.
It's been a topic of discussion now that we're sort of halfway through current expansion. What the level cap will be come 7.0. And the big question is it going to be 99 or 100? And Yoshi-P has now confirmed that we are going to 100 for 7.0. But what comes after that? That's
ascension levels, prestige.
No.
I think if you're gonna go to 100, you might as well just keep on going. I think if you're gonna come up with a fun system afterwards, 99 would have been a classic way to stop.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice to say that, Mail, but I mean, look what WoW did.
Well, WoW got to 120 and then squished. And if we go down that route, I don't think it'll work in our game. So we either have to keep going up by 10s or come up with a new system.
You don't think they could do a level squish?
No. I don't think they could in this game. Oh, I'd be very surprised. Because you would be doing like a Realm Reborn for like 20 levels. So
I mean, you only get... I mean, they could do it like they did with the stat squish. They could just make it so that the first 50 are the same. And then after that, it's every 10 levels has been shifted to every 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could do. If they manage
you
to
only
make
get
it
skills every 2 levels.
That's true.
Yeah. Like they could make the expansions, like the levels as you get through each expansion, just 5 instead of 10.
Yeah.
and then make and then you can start doing 10 again for every new expansion or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a pretty I would say they can make the numbers work whatever route they really want it to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
We might get such a new way of leveling though. A separate system.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they want to introduce like, an Ascension or Prestige or whatever thing, that I guess 100 would be the time to do it too.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do that in this game.
I'm actually Silver Prestige 3.
I mean, they could just say to like, hey, here's the new Prestige system, but it's just leveling, so they can keep the level 100,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, then your Prestige number goes up for however they want it to do.
I feel like this is similar to what 11 is doing, because 11 has a 99 level cap.
Yeah.
And then after that,
classic.
you have... are there any 11 players that can help me here? There's something... I said this wrong last time, but it's... I haven't played since 2010. But I think... You cannot help me, Mela. How does the level system work past 90? Because I know you go higher after that, but there's something you have to do. Maybe it's like job related, which like unlocks the level cap further, but the base level is 99 if I remember correctly. So
you need to hit your merit points.
Yes.
Yeah, like you hit a cap. So you hit like a cap on your actual level, and then like you get job levels.
You get some gear that changes your level 99 gets level 119. And then you get merit caps.
Yes. Okay. 11 has merits, and eye level that goes up to 119.
Yeah.
There you go.
Our eye level is
so-called
very
limit
beyond
break.
that.
Yeah,
but ours is more typical MMO. So again, like, what do you want them to do? Is eye level still going to go up by roughly 100 each?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. If they
that'll
do,
get difficult.
There's a lot of work in like squishing level, because eye level probably has to be squished
Just
as well.
don't think our game is quite as easy to squish as, like, say, WoW. I feel like the maths involved in the all of the calculations throughout all of the content in this game is a bit more hard-coded than...
Hey, I will say, though, we have the most insane damage calculation. I mean, what the fuck does potency mean? I mean, like,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Just tell me how to calculate it.
Yeah.
Look, I know what goes into potencies and the damage numbers and how that works, but like from an outsider, you're like,
it's truly it's actually a very anti player system.
Yeah.
The devs know.
It's just something you have to get like a feel of after like years of playing. Like, I kind of understand that. Yeah.
The trouble with potency is it completely is thrown out the window with how PvP works.
Yeah, I was gonna say
raw numbers.
Then you go to PvP where potency is just the number of damage that you do. It's interesting.
Yeah, but that's because PvP they were fine with throwing out and starting from scrap because no one liked the
But it's weird that they didn't change.
But it was unpopular.
It's weird that they didn't change
but
the wording.
I think it might be. That's true. I think it's just difficult, for them to completely restructure the damage system in this game.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
squishes are going to be tough.
Yeah.
I would say I hope they at least one day show us like the numbers, for the skill.
Yeah.
I mean, they can keep potencies. I can see how it's like easy for people to be like, bigger potency just means more damage, so use that button.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if I could press like Alt or something while I'm hovering over a skill and say like, this is the damage range of the skull when you use it, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might not even be like linear though. I feel like because some classes have abilities with incredibly high potencies, and it feels like I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Are they like 4 times more powerful than my 150 potency?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a very intricate system, I think, for the potency system. I don't know how. It's a bit of a mystery, that whole system. And it's obviously, I think potency is a system, again, left over from 1.0. So they've just inherited this absurd system. But let's explain then. Why do we think it's going to stop? Like, why do we need to think differently after level 100? Why can it not just continue forever?
It can.
It's a big milestone. I just think it's honestly, I would say it's because of WoW, like how they went about it, and like it was a big kind of thing. So it's kind of as I guess the new inheritors of the MMO genre or whatever.
Yeah.
It's people kind of they want to know how the game expects to go, like what they expect to do when they encounter those same kind of issues or milestones.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Has
also
any, Has any other Final Fantasy game gone past 100 or 99?
Don't think so.
8 goes to 100, I think.
Yeah, 8 goes to 100.
8 goes to 100. Well, I
And
know
then-
for a fact that
No, does it? Mela?
I think so. I'm sure FF8 has.
Oh yeah, maybe it does have 100. Yeah, for the GF.
yeah, Chad
Or
is
does
correct.
everyone-
That was what I was. Chad is
Most-
correct. That's what I was
most-
going to bring up. 15
15 goes
originally
to
went to 99, and then it went to 120 after a patch.
So they've already broken some of the mold in that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
8 is the one that
You
went
might
to
be
100.
right with 8 as well. Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with increasing it each time. I mean, you could always you could do 5 levels from now on, and then it's more manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be overwhelming when you understand there's 200 levels, but you're still going to have to go through.
200.
Well, like chat says, but like if you start the game, you're still going to have to go through a Realm Reborn, Heavens Restored, but they're all going to take the same length of time.
But I think it's the
That's a
power of
different
the
issue.
number, seeing that you have to like
I think
level.
it's also like what they're dealing with on their end. That's why they squished like
Yeah.
the amount of experience and how much damage things do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point does this become problematic for them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there might come a time when they can't display the numbers of damage that we're doing now, so they do have to squish it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
Well,
true.
the
do
recent
that
work,
once.
I think they still have a lot of. They give us a lot of breathing room with the recent
Oh,
stats.
Yeah.
I reckon they could easily go up another 100 levels, and it's fine. It's just people might not want that.
Yeah. Okay, so there you go. At least he's pondering this now, what to do past
Yeah.
7.0. But 7.0 is set. We are going to level 100. So if you were wondering about that, there you go.
I wonder how that will look in the UI in the character menu. I'm pretty sure it's like. I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's kind of like not ready for a third.
Like it doesn't
bit
have
yet.
space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not the first time something hasn't been ready in terms of space.
Well, that
they've had to
usually-
shift around.
That usually means they have a valid excuse to like update that window, though, like to make
is
more
true.
significant updates, and I hope they do. Okay, well let's move on then to the actual spoiler cast. We're skipping Mogmail. So we'll start the spoiler cast without really talking about any spoiler stuff, but do be warned that since we're now just talking about the patch, we might reference things that are spoilery. So at this point, if you are terrified of spoilers, I'm just going to say that today we're going to talk about the MSQ and the Alliance Raid story. So we're not going to do Tataru, so don't worry about that. And we're also not going
Or
to do
custom delivery.
custom delivery. So those two we will not discuss today. Okay, so let's talk about the stuff, the small stuff. Let's start with the Gold Saucer, which got a new update. I haven't done it. Who here has done it? Mela's done it? Georgie's
done
done
it.
it? Have you done it,
Self-step.
Rollo?
I haven't done it yet. No.
Okay, so 2 out of 4 has done it. Okay, it's the Sylphlands map.
Self-step.
Sylph-step, that's what it's called. Okay. So how is it? How's
Really, really good.
okay?
It's easily the most difficult one so far.
And easily the best.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks so good.
Yes.
It has a variety of like puzzles. It's not just one type of jumping puzzle.
Okay.
Any pterodactyl scream moments yet, Mela?
No, I've only, I no. There's some parts where there was one part where one of the silver trophies was quite well hidden. So you do have to actually pay attention and look out for where the trophies are.
Okay.
And there's a big gap between each trophy because it's a huge map.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Actually, okay. I didn't know it was that in depth. I thought it was just like any other map, so I might go. Try
No,
that.
it's really quite large. I think one of the biggest issues I have with it is I think there's too many like awkwardly modeled things that you have to step on, particularly at the start. I think there are like some platforms that are like you're jumping on the top of acorns and pine cones. I find those in particular very finicky.
Yes.
The rest of it is like mostly fine in my opinion. It's nothing that feels weird to jump on, at least.
Is it
The
just like
acorns weren't like telegraphed in any, like they were really easy to miss where you actually had to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So that's good. Well, we also have to talk about changes to Paladin and Machinist.
Well, I can't talk to
I
machines.
can't really talk about Machinist, but Paladin.
I can. It's really easy.
Okay. Should we start with
Okay, then.
Machinist then? Because I think we're gonna have
Machinist updates are smaller, so yes.
Yeah.
It's the least controversial too, I would say. So one,
I mean,
bring
I
back.
think there's nothing negative from it.
Yeah, they brought back disassemble or disarm. Was it? Well, it's the one where you throw the
Disassemble.
wrench.
Yeah.
Um,
Disassemble.
Classic from. Oh, they took it back, took it away in
It was
Shadowbringers.
definitely in
Yeah.
Evanswood and Stormblood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with the rework, they took it away because they made it less of a support DPS.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought it back, and it's the same. You just 10% less damage, or damage, whatever.
Yeah.
So you just use that on cooldown, or not on cooldown, when for busters and
Right. Right.
Dismantle even.
And then the other thing that is I've talked about before too, and other people have definitely mentioned this a lot, is the changes to hypercharge. That's
And
the skill.
Wildfire.
Yeah, where you use you use hypercharge and then you get the heat blast thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And the skill goes really fast, and you have to like weave your GCDs in between that, and you're trying to make sure.
Yeah, the one that refreshes like not ricochet, but one yeah. Good.
That's
that one
the
is
heat
fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And then wildfire too. Basically, before it was very ping dependent on because wildfire you have to do as much GCDs as you can
Right.
to get the max damage.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've essentially changed it to like a charge system where it's not like a timer. When you use hypercharge, it's you just use hypercharge, and then you have
5 stacks of overheated.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
way more manageable, and then the wildfire changes just go in line with that too. There's
Similarly, yeah, it caps at 6 rather than infinity.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you were struggling with some ping issues or DPS stuff, try it now. It falls in line with the other jobs that had similar things like Dark Knight. They gave Delirium charges too instead of a time
Warrior.
window. Yeah. So it just
release.
Surprised it took that long to get the Machinist. But that's pretty much it.
So just an overall just buff, I guess, in a way for Machinist. So good.
One skill people missed.
Yeah.
That fucking. If you can dodge a wrench, you can lower the opponent's damage by 10%.
Yep. Paladin also got an old skill back, Bulwark, but more controversial update, I will say. How do we attack this one?
They didn't fix the problem.
No, they did not.
Well, we're going into this as a Paladin rework.
Mm-hmm.
That was what they said. Total rework.
Yeah.
So what they've done is the old Paladin, you used to go into it, you do your fast blade, you'd chuck fight or flight on, and you'd have the period of time fight or flight was up to do your melee combo. So your 1-2 dot, and then 1-2-3, and then do the atonements, whatever they call it. And then what the aim was then to get a second Goring blade in before fight or flight falls off. It felt good.
Yeah.
What it utilized was skill speed materia. You had to get your GCD low enough to be able to weave that, and you had to think about your ping and the fights. So big brain stuff here.
Yes.
Then you chuck out Requiescat and do your Holy Spirits and Confiteor.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Two sections. You go through them,
And it's
refresh.
it was
you
a
know, go in a
rotation
circle.
everyone
Yeah.
understood. So
Great rotation.
yeah.
You know, now it's so the Goring Blade has turned into OGCD long cooldown. You use it once a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Just does big damage now. It's not a dot.
Right.
It's just potency 700. It's awful.
Yeah.
Doesn't match the animation, I feel like.
No.
Maybe that gets upgraded next time or next expansion.
Yeah.
Big sucky. It's rubbish. So you're 1, 2, 3. When you hit the 3, you now can do 1 Holy Spirit and then do your 3 atonements.
But yeah. Yes. I would just want to say with Goring Blade, I think what they've essentially just taken the dot damage, compressed it into just one burst, and that's what it is now.
Fine.
But
if that's how they want to make the class,
yeah.
if that's their vision for it, fine. But it just feels less involved now.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on that. It's because Paladin was falling behind as a result of dot damage is not friendly towards the way the game is currently planned around, in the sense that there are burst windows.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a shame, but if you have to get rid of the dot, fine.
Yeah.
But now it's do 1, 2, 3, Holy Spirit, 4, 4, 4.
Yeah.
And then jump into your Requiescat, where you don't do any Holy Spirits now, you just do your Confiteor thing. And then it's back. It's just like a really compressed, less fun version.
I thought you still did the Holy Spirits into Confiteor.
You can utilize 1 Holy Spirit from your Royal Royal Authority.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if you use multiple, you only get 4 stacks of the free cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
The instant cast, so you'd be wasting it using the Holy Spirit then.
They still left in, I think, the 2 problems I think that people had with Paladin, and it's a drifting issue, I guess. I would say is so in a somewhat optimized rotation, paraphrasing a little bit, and I don't remember exactly everything off the top of my head. So you would do your Goring Blade combo, apply your dot, whatever, and eventually you go into, after doing your second Goring Blade with a dot, you go into Requiescat, do Holy Spirits, and all the fancy sword stuff, and then you do that does the Holy Sword dot or whatever.
Yes. And then you just do a 1, 2, 3, and then triple atonements usually, because Fight or Flight wouldn't normally be off cooldown yet. And then you go back, because the second dot you don't want to overwrite either.
But the issue is that every other rotation of the entire rotation of that, like from the melee part to the Holy Swords part, it wasn't a good idea to do all 3 atonements. You would usually skip 1 atonement because slight drifting. I think it was, I don't remember off the top of my head, but essentially that problem is still there, where you shouldn't be using all your atonement stacks if you're trying to be optimal. This is you're trying to get down the perfect rotation kind of stuff. So you still have to do the 2 atonements, at least from what I've seen so far. Maybe the theory and crafting is worked, or maybe it'll be different by next week when this goes up. But as far as I can see, it is you still have to accommodate for the drift with the buffs and everything. And then the second part too is that now that you're doing the Holy Spirits and Holy Circle after you're doing you're getting your atonement, not atonement, sorry, the buff,
you do the Royal Authority.
Yeah. So the issue now is with spell speed and skill speed. I think this one's a bit more of a minor one, I'd say, for now. Again, theory crafting might be different later on. But
the balance has currently got it. Basically, your normal rotation there isn't a real rotation, they've given you like 3 wild card filler GCDs at the end.
Mhm.
So once you've done Blade of Valor, they've given like a priority of what to fill it with.
Yeah.
Like Holy Spirit and atonements and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So even, I mean, clearly it's not worked, and you're no more mobile than before. If that was an issue,
Mhm.
you're no more.
No, not really.
No.
They've not changed how the class feels in any way, other than that it's just not quite as good as it was before.
Yeah, it's just strange. I don't really see what they were thinking here. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
bad.
wouldn't go as far to say it's just Gunbreaker Light now. I think that's kind of a little extreme to say that. It still feels like Paladin.
Yeah.
It has some Paladin-esque, and it still has some, like, let's talk, there's positives. The
Lots of self-healing now.
Divine Veil
Oh, yeah.
change
Yeah.
is very positive.
That's the one change I wanted, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't mention it at all up until the patch notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's big, because that's just instant. It adds a healing effect at level 88 as well.
Yeah.
So not only do you get the shield for everyone without having to cast a heal on the paladin, but it also just does healing based.
Mm-hmm.
And like what I said, there are loads of things now that cast cure on us,
Yeah.
which again is great.
Mhm.
Holy Sheltron
Yeah. Holy
adds a bit
Shelter.
of cure now as well.
Yeah.
And all the Confiteor series adds cure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of sustain. they're
That-
It's a
adding.
lot of
Yeah.
sustain.
Mhm.
And Bulwark exists.
It does.
You want to block incoming attacks for 10 seconds. It
Yeah.
kind of, I don't fully understand the tooltip.
No. Which is very normal for 14.
What does block entail here? I mean, it clearly doesn't just stop damage. It's not hallowed ground. It just
I think it's
uses your block value.
just
Yeah.
20% damage reduction, right?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
But I think they should
Yeah.
just tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Remember
too.
Parry for Dark Knight?
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Remember-
Fucking I think Parry was like 15%
Yeah.
damage reduction
Yeah.
for whatever that attack was.
Yeah.
Strange. I wouldn't even call this a Paladin rework. I'm not going to say it's like
not a rework.
No.
Yeah, it's a Paladin like remix. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's like a culling.
Yeah, it's a culling of Paladin. Yeah.
Ruining paladin.
Culling because they added one skill.
They did,
and now
yeah,
my
that's
hotbar
true.
Doesn't fit.
Well, the positives are really good. Like the sustain stuff is good. Like you're getting heals for lots of shit.
Yeah.
That's good. It's just that they fucked up the other stuff, like the
Yeah.
rotation.
Really, honestly,
return the rotation back to what it was, and then just
or
keep
come
all
up
the
with
good
something
stuff.
better.
Yeah, or come up with something better.
I
But
don't think this is a good.
If this is the way they thought-
Yoshi-P, but this isn't a good change.
no.
They might be able to come up with a better fix for it come an actual expansion.
Yeah.
because
Yes.
This is the best. This is normally around the best they can do mid expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sure
Oh.
Goring Blade will turn into like something else later on. Not even as just strictly an upgraded skill, like maybe work slightly differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like unplayable either or anything like that. I think this could be
No,
a good
Right.
base for whatever they're planning to do. Works fine now. Still have some of the awkwardness of the old rotation. You just have to relearn some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paladin not ruined. You did not have to do a Glaya Paladin only
No.
and take screenshots and post it everywhere. It's okay.
No, it's not ruined. It's just not as fun.
No.
Also, all the tanks now have a funny new skill for removing their tank stance because people are so
well,
cat-handed that they accidentally just keep removing them. It's
the
it's
tank
not a bad change.
stance button. It's still one button because the
It's
tank
one
stance
button.
turns into this untank stance button afterwards. I guess it's just to make it more obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like it as a concept. I just think it's funny that after all these years, suddenly they thought, you know what? People just can't keep their tank stance on anymore.
Right. Yeah.
This was a much. Think about the old days of tank stances and other stances in this game.
Cleric stance.
stances, all these stances. That was hard.
I
DPS
love the
stance.
cleric stat punishment. That was
The
so
act of
fun.
stance
because we
dancing.
had
Yeah.
we had the 2 oaths, didn't we?
Yeah.
The DPS
Yeah.
spec,
Yeah,
and
yes.
then
And you got Sword Oath first. You got it at level 30.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't even a good DPS. It was
But you
increased
had to
auto
use
attack.
it.
It was
Yeah,
it was
increased
just auto
autos,
attack.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Oh,
Warriors
absolutely
and Dark
wild.
Knight's DPS stances were much better than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you can say now, technically, was it double auto attack? Sorry, I thought
That
it
was something like
Still
that.
not that good.
That's still just auto attack, but
But they just gave it to Monk essentially because now Monk has that skill.
oh yeah.
So Monk inherited Sword Oath.
Yeah, it's true.
The most boring buff, increased auto attack damage. Fuck.
It's interesting though because the ultimate is scheduled for
Is
3.
it next? Is it this week or is it next week?
It'll be whenever
Next.
the extra patch is out, but not for the point.
No, it's
5,
3.5, isn't
point.
it?
It's 0.1. It's
Oh, it's
0.31.
0.1.
So it's like 2 weeks after.
Okay, so we're like a
I
week
think, or 1
from
week
from
after.
when you're watching this on YouTube, I guess. Okay. So
Way
it's
for them to do
interesting.
big changes like that.
Yeah.
On top before.
Yeah. I don't know if
Let's,
that was the timing.
I think we should
You've got
keep
2 weeks to
our
get
eye
used to it.
on past. Well, obviously we can't look at these numbers, but secretly, let's keep an eye on where the tiers are for Paladin now, whether they're
Yeah.
at the top or bottom.
Yeah, because they may have made it worse for Paladin than it already was. So we'll see if people are being allowed into ultimate parties as Paladin. Okay.
Don't kick people out for every job can do everything in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're more selective in ultimate, but that's usually like private parties anyway. So they,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
not
you
being.
tell them.
Do it
Maybe.
with your friends instead. They'll
Yeah.
understand when you
Well, exactly.
do
exactly.
DPS.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a Paladin and Machinist. So one successful, one I would say unsuccessful change there. PvP. I have not been able to play that map.
I've
I
done
have
it
played
once.
PvP, but I haven't played
I've
that map.
done it twice.
Okay, so I
I
guess.
won on it, so I've got positive memories.
All right, give us a review.
I have lost on it twice, so I have negative memories.
Good, perfect. You got the perfect mix.
It's kind of like when I went out the gate, everyone in my party went through one of these random doors. I didn't understand why.
Right.
I ran around.
Because they're the equivalent of the shortcuts in the
Yeah,
other maps.
but I
Mother.
didn't know where it went, so I didn't go in it.
Yeah, that's how I felt as well.
The flipping tatami mats.
I didn't even see any of them. We
But
won
you
so
can-
fast rolling.
You can be so disgusting with them. Like,
Oh yeah,
you can.
I am looking forward to Warrior stunning people when it's almost
Yeah.
That's how I
if-
play
if-
PvP.
And the thing is, you can trigger multiple tatami mats. So like,
Oh.
if you have one like you can fight in the middle of the 5 tatami mats in a cross pattern.
Yeah, it's a 5 cross pattern.
You stun them in the middle, so they get hit with that one. You stand on the tatami mat on the edge, and then pull them, and then they get hit with. And it's so much
That's
damage.
so
Like,
funny.
you're just bullying people now.
Damn.
As you should. I think it was the Onmyoji. Is that the don't look at one?
Yeah, the Omyoji is the one you don't look at.
Yeah, he spawned.
Mm-hmm.
Almost no warning. He just suddenly was on us. But it was cool, I guess. You can try and stun people and hopefully they'll see it. It's not that game changing.
Right.
And I didn't get to see your Jimbo. I saw the guy throw the gold out.
Mm-hmm.
You pick it up and you gain like 1% of your LB bar.
1%.
Well, it wasn't very much
that-
at least. It was
Oh.
like
'Cause I
a
didn't-
bit.
Because my limit break was already full when I tried to pick it up. I was like, oh, well,
No.
I can't experience this.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's like a quarter at max, but it's not like loads.
Okay.
kind of hoping it could just been a damage buff instead.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like the
yeah.
one with the bombs, where you can pick
Yeah.
up the bomb fragments and get the damage up.
But I guess they already have the map with the bomb fragments, so maybe
Well,
they
I
just don't.
guess.
Yes. So they
Yeah.
want to do something different.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
it's fine.
I like the map. Miles better than the fucking hurricane.
Oh, no.
I
Cloud9's still way better than
disagree.
this.
Yeah.
I think Cloud9 is still
Yeah.
better.
No.
I find Clockwork.
Cloud9 is such a good map, and I don't
Shut up.
understand
I find Clockwork Castletown, at least to this point, quite confusing. The map is not necessarily clear as to where you're going because of its shape and the size of the walls.
But I feel like the mechanics aren't as intrusive as Cloud9.
See, I disagree. I think the mechanics are way more intrusive in
it's
Clockwork
mostly
Castletown.
mechanics, it seems.
No, because it's just Cloud9 is just like, stop what you're doing right now. Everything.
Yeah.
It's
Do this.
try and stun
Well,
someone at
that's-
the right time so they
Yeah,
can't.
that's
and then
part of the fun. Keep people distracted.
Can't do it.
Cloud9, honestly, Rollo, just when they fall down and you all just pounce on them and just it's so
Yeah.
satisfying. I'm not gonna. I haven't played this one enough to have a real opinion of it. Once I've played
No.
it properly throughout this series, but it's definitely not at the top tier. But
Right.
it's all right. It has some new stuff. It's ugly still.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it so far, but maybe my opinion will change with time.
Yeah, we'll give it a full series, and maybe we'll come back to it. But
I'm feeling good so far on it. I've
Okay.
done like 3 matches on there, so I'll see how it develops.
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Moving on to treasure maps. The new maps that you can only gather in Elpis and also only opens in Elpis, or they only you can only find treasures in Elpis. If you get a portal, you go to the roulette room.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
What? Oh, yes. So
Not
the
guaranteed
roulette
portal,
is saying
but
cool.
guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yes, that's what I was like. What?
Yeah.
I would quite like to see some sort of retroactive change to all the old ones to guarantee this version in like you don't have to change the map, but let's say if your map leads you to the locks, you get something like that.
See, I kind of like because the solution they've gone for this time, because one of the problems with introducing the roulette was that we already have another treasure map system. So eventually, after it's like new, I think the way they did it before, they just increased the or they might have just made it so that every map just opens to a roulette. I don't remember exactly what they did, if there was just a higher
They
drop
increased
rate.
the percentage.
The percentage went up, yeah. And then eventually they will just level it out to 50-50 or something, which is what it is right now, I think. But instead here, they're like, okay, let's just lock one into one zone. And that's the portal zone. Oh, sorry, the roulette zone. And then everything else is the old system.
Well, it's so convenient because it's all in one zone. You
Yeah.
gather them in one zone, and then you run them in one zone.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I think it's a
and
good
there's only like 3
idea.
spots.
Yeah. So you can decide whether or not you want to do the old, like the dungeon, like the doors one, or you want to do the roulette one.
Deciding to do that.
Right. Speaking of the roulette, it's the same as before.
Yeah,
We've all
this
done them.
version, it still has the garlic and
It's got the garlic girl soul.
The version we don't like
Yeah.
the shiny NPC this
No,
time round.
the rainbow NPC
The
is not
rainbow
rainbow enough.
NPC isn't very
Oh yeah.
the golem was brilliant, and like the yeti really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This one, it's got slightly rainbow knees.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
not very impressive.
Yeah. It's not
I'm not
fully
happy with that.
rainbow. No.
So
Also, the
minus 1
Atomos.
point for that.
The Atomos is it's not an Atomos. It's
The Atomos is gross. It's not its mouth. It's like its stomach.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
get sucked into. I don't know what it is. Like
It's
we've
like
never seen it
Kairos,
before.
isn't it, or whatever it's
Calypso.
It's called a
yeah.
Calypso. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like some big machine monster thing.
Yeah. Well,
I want lore on the Atomos equivalent because we've never seen it before. It's only appeared in the maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like one of those systems that is like it has not changed since it was released, and it doesn't matter. Like
No.
That is true. This one they can get away with it.
yeah.
Because it's like it's your non-agency in it that makes it better.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the
Everyone.
fact- the spin of the wheel. It's
Yeah.
Everyone loves a roulette wheel.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
That's what
The only way
Yoshi-P
they could
goes
make
to
this better
Vegas
is
for.
with,
Yeah.
they
like
could do this with fruits, like slot machine. That would be good too.
Yeah.
like the
I find
50-50
slot
on
machines
doors
boring.
just feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the 33-30, or sorry, the 33% one for the old thieves maps was like,
Yeah.
Oh
fucking
yeah,
so,
that
like,
one was
this is a
tough.
reward. I have less of a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make like a giant pachinko machine and then see where the ball lands. A plinko machine, even like from
Yeah.
The Price is Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Where
this is-
the ball?
Oh goodness
Yes.
me!
This is an aside, and because I don't know where else to say this during this stream, but or podcast, the new set we got, the Yakuku set, the samurai-ish from
Oh,
Tataru
from the
Grand
Safari
Endeavors,
quest line.
Yeah.
Yes.
terrible on dark skin characters. That
Oh yes, it
tattoo
absolutely is.
looks horrendous. It's like this bright
Because it'd be
orange.
like neon.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
That's
it
a
like
fair point.
I am so sad it doesn't die with it should have died with it.
No.
Yeah.
Because it looks really bad on dark skin characters.
Yeah,
So
it's
just
like
a heads
if I.
up.
It's
Yeah.
like if I did drew a yellow highlighter line on Rollo and it wasn't affected at all by his skin tone. It was
Right.
just the same color as the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fine if you have like a paler character, even like some of the grayer, weirder skin tones, I think.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
anything that's like brown to darker is just
Yeah.
I mean, we probably would have talked. No, we're not going to talk about it today. Yeah, so we can talk about it.
No, we're
The-
not talking
We
about
can-
today.
we can-
That I see it in chat as well. We said, oh, it looks really high res, that tattoo on the preview, but it is not.
It's not.
It is very low res. It's very
little
pixelated.
crunchy.
Yeah, very crunchy. So that was a bit of a disappointment as well.
But don't worry, you'll see it every PvP match. That's
Yes.
Mela,
maybe
just
3 or 4 times.
stop walking into the. He's walking towards you to do the thing he's known to do.
Yeah.
And every time you hit him,
He's the outfit. 2 out of 5 players right now are wearing that. 3
Yes.
almost, I would say,
It's
are
too
wearing
much.
that.
a
And
lot
I
of
know.
people
Far
without
too
the
high.
bottoms.
Yeah.
Well,
God.
yeah.
No, because it comes with 2 bottoms, Rollo. It
Oh, it
comes with
does?
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh, I
comes
thought-
with both like a hakama type thing and then
Okay.
just a fundoshi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I
That's
thought it
probably
was
what
just-
you're seeing.
Yes.
Uh,
That is
yeah, a lot of
definitely what
people-
you're seeing.
I thought they just had their ass out. It was just like that was just the
Well,
outfit. Like
the
that.
fundoshi has more of your ass out than the regular underwear.
Well, anyways, that's a thing. Let's move on then to miscellaneous. There's a few smaller things that's been added, like the auto umbrella.
I love this.
That's
It
Animal
remembers.
Crossing over here.
the fact that they have something in this game that actually remembers even when you've logged out is a bit of a big deal.
I think it's a reasonably nice change because you're never going to go into your fashion accessories menu all the time.
Right.
But to have it, it is nice.
Yeah.
And it's just a little
It's blunt.
lively, like it just adds to the immersion. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a nice
And-
feature. It's cute.
Yeah.
At least right now, it only applies to zones that are like the kind of zones you do RP in, like city states and
Yeah.
housing districts.
Yes. Yes.
I haven't had it turn on for me yet, though. I haven't had any rain happen.
Oh.
In those zones, so
Well, we've had
I'm
a
just
lot of
like-
rain.
Yeah.
I'm just watching. Like,
Is it?
is it?
Is it?
No.
No.
That's another tech or whatever.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, and the fact that you can go directly from a fashion accessory to mounting up or interacting with NPCs and not having it affect it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yep.
We're playing like a
The
funny
future
bit,
is
like
now.
2004.
Well,
MMO
Mela,
fantasy.
this is like one of those big moments that we take for granted. Remember when you couldn't talk to an NPC while mounted?
Yes, I do. It's
Yes,
stupid.
that's true.
Yeah.
It's so bad. The fact that you still have to dismount though is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Just
but at least it does it.
do the
No.
do the text box.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they do have the technology to have you interact with people while mounted. There is one instance in, I think it's the Gunbreaker quest line from Shadowbringers.
Mhm.
I think so, where you have to fly up and you interact with people in the air.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
and you obviously can't dismount, so
Mhm.
you are interacting with them in the air.
It was it was a Moogle. I remember this quest. Yeah. We'll have to talk about the theme now that we have used it.
Clear
or
blue is
seen it.
amazing.
Clear
great.
Blue is the clear winner for the best skin so far.
The
Yeah.
only thing I don't like, this is just, I mean, it's just a minor thing for me. I hate the sharp edges.
I
I
was
I wish
wondering
they
if
were
you were going to
rounded.
bring this up.
Interesting.
Like the gray theme or whatever, or like the deep blue one is.
Has it the rounded corners, and is this just too square for you?
Yeah, it's just a hard, like a hard edge.
It's not something I've actually
sharp
noticed.
I haven't really noticed it either, but yeah,
Yeah,
now I will.
noticed it.
Immediately as well, because it's the only skin that does. It's the only theme that does it.
Yeah, and
That's
the
a big shame because I like a good rounded edge.
Yeah.
It looks.
other than that, I mean, it's great, but with the hard edge, it reminds me of like Windows 7 Arrow themes.
Yeah,
It does. I agree.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if we're just necessarily in like the right nostalgia period for that kind of look. So.
Right.
I
Yeah.
hope we don't get them at the same because he said he wants multiple clear colored skins.
Yeah.
Let's not
that
have
makes
them
sense.
at like this rate. Let's just do 5 other colors at once.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen, Mailer. I think they're going to keep it at this rate
We
of
don't
release.
Yeah,
need
because
it
now
at
they can
this
make
rate.
content mail up for years, and it'll feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're like making new shit. Well, in reality, they're just moving the dot on the color wheel, and like,
Yeah.
that's the one.
I think the next color that they're going to create is a clear gray.
Yeah, I
version
think
of
they
this
said
thing.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy.
I-
I would like a clear grey, be like a smoky glass.
I'm going to say something terribly cursed. So
Okay.
I'm speaking this
Oh,
into the
no.
universe.
Uh-oh.
And I might
It's about
just
the
roll.
FF7 4-corner RGB.
No.
No.
I think I could see them adding themes to the Mog Station.
Oh, Rollo.
Like,
No,
you gotta buy it. It's
Rollo.
like
Rollo, no.
$10.
Let's make it more cursed. Themes for promotions that are only available
Oh,
in Japan.
fuck.
Yeah, the
You-
Lawson HUD. Yeah,
know,
baby.
You can get a KFC HUD, but only in
Okay.
certain territories.
Only one curse per episode, okay? Let's keep it to that. But if they did that, I think that would hurt more because the skins so far
Yes.
have been entirely free. There is no way to obtain them in game. You already have them, so this would
Let's
feel
start locking them.
Okay, here,
Yeah.
Lock them behind
Here's something-
content.
less cursed then, but I still think would not be good. FanFest exclusive themes.
no.
See, I don't think they want to do this because this is part of like an options menu.
This is like
No,
Everything
I'm
that-
totally on side, Rollo. It'll be like the
Everything
Genshin
that-
Impact KFC event.
Everything that you can add to your like UI is like part of a specific menu that already is not in either the system config or the character config. I think it would be very strange if they started adding additions that you can unlock.
Yeah,
In
Well-
those particular
worried.
well,
You're gonna
I'm-
have a padlock.
I'm
on
sorry
your
to
UI,
bring this
Jody.
up, but there already is one of those things in the systems menu, and that's the audio thing that you
Well, I
have to.
thought you'd bring that up, but I feel like that's very specific and unique.
I know, but it's weird. I hated it when they added it because it is just a thing that exists in the systems menu that you
is
can't
true.
turn on unless you
3D
buy
audio,
it.
whatever. So they've got the systems in place. Good idea, Rollo.
Okay.
Hey, I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying it's a company,
Yeah.
and if they see demand, if they can create a service where there is none, I mean, that's a revenue avenue. You know?
As they say, selling is service. Service is selling. So
That is what they say.
yeah. What else was added with this patch?
Island Sanctuary update.
Oh yes.
Not done it, so you're gonna have to tell us.
Has anyone else done it?
No.
No, I've focused
Oh,
on doing all
you
those things.
losers! Why aren't you going back to your Island
Losers
have a
Sanctuary?
reason. I have a
Yoshi-P
reason.
said we can do this at our own pace, and you're bullying us for not doing it at our own pace.
No.
I'm telling Yoshi-P.
Listen, I did the entire patch on the Steam Deck. Like the raids, the dungeons with people. That was my big adventurous thing.
Yeah.
Took a lot out of. Okay. It's very difficult.
It was
All my
difficult on his
animals,
shoulders.
all my crops have withered, and all my animals are dead.
They're
I haven't
going
been
to
there
eat
for
you when
months.
You go back to your island sanctuary. They've not been fed. But no, the fact that you can now collect all from both the animals and the crops is a very convenient upgrade.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
it's
I'm looking
amazing
forward to
how much it's better than it was before. Unfortunately, I can't use them because when you automate them, you can't get experience from them. So right now I'm doing it all manually.
Oh God!
See,
Right?
you gotta
Oh.
do it by hand, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's
well, you just
part
gotta
of
do
the
it for 2 ranks.
experience.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
only
so if
two
you click
ranks.
collect all, you don't get any XP.
No, because the mammoths are doing it for you.
Yeah. That's not experience, Mela.
Why do you deserve experience for?
What kind of
People are
idle
doing?
game do you think this is, Mela?
This
isn't a cookie clicker.
to do. Just give us the XP.
You-
Oh, you're so lazy, Mela. That's not the
Oh my
Island
God.
Sanctuary experience. You're
Oh,
not
that is-
farming. That's what you do.
I don't want the XP. I'm not getting it. I'm clicking collect all. I don't care. That is so
This
lame.
Mela does not want to work in the field like God intended.
Mm,
No, it's like once you become a big enough farmer in real life, Mela, you stop gaining muscle because you're getting other people to do all the work.
Yeah.
But when you're a small-time farmer with only you and your son and daughter to go milk the cows, like, of course you're going to be getting something out of it.
yeah.
It was like that.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
But other than that, there are some new materials, which as soon as you craft the one thing that they added, which is so previously you had a stone scythe, I think it was. Now you get to make a steel scythe or
Wow.
something, an iron scythe, something
Wow.
like that. It's a new material. But what it does, oh no, it's not a scythe, it's like an axe. Now, when you go chop from trees, instead of 2 things, you're getting 3 things. You're getting bee
Okay, that's
hair chips.
actually
You're
good.
getting
That's
getting,
actually
like, amber opals and things like
Number
that.
go up.
Ooh.
So that's convenient. But there is also one other like thing that they added, which is kind of annoying because it only gives 1. There's just these new flowers that are on the cliff sides, and when you pick them up, that's all you get. You get flowers. You get nothing else, which
Oh.
is kind of annoying because that's the only thing in the game really on the Island Sanctuary that is still like that, other than like pumpkin seeds.
Right. Okay.
For me, the biggest upgrade would be if they made it so one of the upgrades, instead of getting 1 log, you get 2 per node.
Mm-hmm.
God, that would be so
Well,
good.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the new animals. There's only 1 small, 1 medium, 1 large. They're all like
Griffin.
timed ones. Yes, the griffin is large. The tiger somehow is medium, which I feel like is incorrect. I feel like tigers are very big.
Uh-huh.
And then the marble seed, I thought there would be a marble, but there isn't. There's just the marble seedling and it's small. They're
That's
all timed.
disappointing.
Okay.
Okay.
And I've heard I'm still rank 10. I haven't gotten up to rank 11. Like I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it that quickly.
Right.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I think I heard that you get more pasture space as you rank up, but I can't
Oh,
confirm
lovely.
that because I haven't done it myself.
Okay.
They
Okay.
added new handicrafts too for export, right? With the new materials.
Yes, they did add new recipes that you can
Okay.
craft with your
Okay.
workshops as well.
All right.
Lovely.
Oh, actually,
It's nice. Good.
You get XP from the workshop, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Even though the mammoths did all the work.
Well, you got experience in ordering them
No,
around.
don't try. I
That's
ordered them to collect
management
all.
Experience.
Yeah, that's management, Mela.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
management,
God.
Mela. It's business.
Just
You're
give
doing
us all the
business.
They-
XP. This is
They,
so
Mela,
frustrating.
they don't do anything unless you tell them what to do.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
But this other thing, and I do it. Let me check the show notes actually
Oh.
before I say. Okay, no, it's not in there.
Okay.
They took out the how very glib line in.
Oh, yeah, I
Praetorium.
heard
That's
that.
true, they did.
Why?
That is fucking
Yeah.
criminal.
Because they wanted.
Is it
My
not glib anymore?
understanding. No, it's not glib anymore. My understanding from what people have said is it's to make the cutscenes more similar in length between different languages.
Oh.
The thing
But it was
it
such an
is-
iconic line.
it is like one like I think how it goes is he says how very glib you believe in Eorzea, right? The line change now is just and you're like and you believe in Eorzea. He doesn't say glib for something.
Right.
Like that's it.
Well,
I
another thing that I believe is that he ultimately says like too. Yeah, because it's specifically a response to a line that you could say back when there were options, but now there aren't. So
there are no
reason
options
to even have it there.
I always found that to be a weird, like it is. Yeah, they should have removed it from the beginning. I think because
how very glib line was in response to as Chad is saying, if you said ellipses, whereas now because you don't have any choice, he just says nothing.
Yeah,
he says the next line.
Yeah. Yeah. So end of an era there.
Rest.
Yeah.
Basically ruined the game this patch if he's no longer glib.
Yeah, it is no longer glib. Okay, well, that's, I think, the small stuff in the patch that's worth talking about at least. Yeah, let's move on to the spoiler part of the Spoilercast. So let's talk about the MSQ. This is your final spoiler warning for the MSQ. While this thing is on screen, we are talking about the MSQ.
Yes.
Okay.
The bonk?
What did you say, Rollo?
The bonk?
Oh, we still don't have the bonk. Fuck, this was
the
supposed to be
bonk.
the year of the bonk. I promised.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Donk.
next time. Donk. Okay. So the MSQ, just before we get into the meat of it, it's short. It's quite short, I feel like.
Quite short,
Quite short.
So, make of that what you will.
I think it's the first MSQ patch to have less than 10 quests since Stormblood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we're back in a Stormblood era.
And also,
God help us.
It still had 9, Mela. It wasn't exactly like the 5 that we were getting in Stormblood.
Yeah.
God.
And we'll talk about it when we're at the end of this, but I feel like also this, for being such a short quest, it also made very little progress in the overall story, except for a couple of pointers that we'll talk about.
I have feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end.
We'll talk about it at the end. We'll get to it. Okay, so let's just break down the story. So essentially, we start where we left off. We want to go back into the void to look for Ritra's sister, Ashdaya.
Everyone's saying Ashdaya now. Everyone used to say Asdaya. Maybe they've listened to Ritra say it enough times that they actually understand how to say his sister's name.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Varshan has one.
Well, that's true.
So we're saying Ashdaya now. That's the canon now.
Ashdaya. Do what you want.
Yeah, well, I want to say it the right way. Ashdaya. Okay. So yeah, we want to go back.
Spell Ritra correctly in the notes, Likil.
Yeah, it doesn't have an I. It's
No.
Vritra.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No one can see that. That's just for us. Okay. Yeah, he saw an opportunity and he grabbed it.
A weakness.
Yeah. Okay. So we're planning to get back into the void. I don't really remember exactly.
You're you're basically like, let's go back to Alzadal's legacy.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're all walking off, but
Well, no. First we have to go collect Zero.
Yeah, we have to pick up Zero.
Well, yeah, she's chilling with some Matanga.
She's watching the proletariat walking around. Raz at hand. She's like, well,
living the bourgeois
these people
life.
don't realize that I could kill them at any moment, and anyone else could kill them too.
Yeah.
That's what Yuri thinks, right? When he's outside in public?
Yeah. Well, most specifically when he sees homeless people. That's like his big thing. She has we had a drinking game when I went through the MSQ, was to drink every time Zero touched her hat, like she tipped her.
I'm so bored of the animation. It was good once, but it's not just the touch and it's the fingers at the end where she has to leave them up for a bit.
Yeah.
It's a cute little character.
It was.
It's nice, but she does it too many times.
Way too
in
many
this
times
patch in
now.
particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, this patch she probably does about 15 times.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so we discussed, we talked to her about that, and then we prepared to go, and then Vritra
He just stands
Vritra.
still.
Yeah.
And then, big Vritra howls and
Varshan pauses. Like it feels like Varshan
he
turns
disconnected.
off temporarily. Yeah.
I was so confused for a moment because no one just said, "Why did you do that?"
No.
It just happened as.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, and that's when Estinian says that he's calling. So it was right in the trailer for once. Was in response to that.
It's like,
Yeah.
I was correct when I was like, yeah, he says that there. So he
Yeah.
actually said it there.
Yeah. He felt his sister's presence, which is why he
For the
called out.
briefest of moments.
Yeah, and it was coming from somewhere up north, so we assume that has to be up in Garlemald.
Isn't it lucky that it was a place that we actually have access to?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't further north.
Right. Yeah.
Or further, or a little bit south, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of the continent that we haven't visited.
Yeah.
God, that's so lucky that it was literally that 1 square kilometer of Garlemald that we.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, we think it has to be Garlemald, and they theorize that someone might have, she might have made it through for a brief moment.
Yeah, maybe she broke through from that side.
Yeah, and just went back
Found
in
a way to escape,
somehow.
maybe.
Yeah.
But didn't quite
It's
make
like
it.
that's such a hopeful
Yeah.
thing to think.
Yeah.
But you gotta have hope.
Yeah. Yeah. So we decide to travel to Garlemald, where we meet up with Alphino and LSA.
Yay.
They've been busy working on helping the Garleans. There's an interim government. We learned some stuff about Garlemald.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
interesting.
they've been doing all the boring 0.1 patch stuff that
Yeah.
we normally have to do.
Yeah.
Yay.
They did it
We've outsourced
themselves.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness they don't need us to babysit them anymore while they install democracy.
Right.
My
Hooray.
Right.
management skills from the island transferred over.
Yeah. Yeah. They say that it's obviously been hard because the Garleans are the Garleans.
Yeah.
But that
They mention that it's a long way off before a full restoration effort can happen. So
Yes.
don't worry, there is still the chance of Garlemald.
they essentially almost say it
But
there.
I can tell you right now, it will never be this part of the city.
Oh no.
No,
No.
it'll be some secret corner just off the edge where we have to go in.
We're only at the very southern part of the city. I suspect the
Exactly.
city's much larger than just this section.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll have like new Garlemald is what they'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lovely.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe they'll build a Garlemald far away from the forever fucking miasma spawning Tower of Babel.
That's
Yeah.
also a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tear that down anytime. Oh, they talk about the Tower of Babel if you've done the role quest to completion.
Mm.
Yes, they congratulate you on defeating what's his name? I always forget the name of the
Guys.
person who led the Third Legion. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Nerva, thank you.
Nerva,
Yes,
Yeah,
Nerva.
they do. Yeah.
I didn't
the-
realize it at first though, because I was like, they mentioned the blasphemy. I was like, oh, you mean other blasphemy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anima?
Yeah. I
Anima.
was like, oh, is that what and it's like, oh no, it's in reference to the
See,
other
I,
one.
I think I vaguely remember doing it, but in my mind I was thinking, was that was just MSQ or something, wasn't it? I couldn't remember it was for the role quest.
Yeah.
I guess I've done it.
And yes, Chad is correct. That besides that, you also get extra dialogue if you are a Reaper. They call out, they make reference to the fact that you are a Reaper quite often if you are.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
If you have
but-
They
leveled
told me I'd mastered it, even though I've literally. I mean, I think I'm max level, but I don't think I've done all the quest lines.
Well, that's what they're referencing. I think they've just done. They do your level.
If you haven't locked it gives you it pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty
Yeah.
generous.
So yeah, we meet
The twins.
the twins, and then we meet.
we're in that train station.
Oh yeah, that's when they were
ship.
like, "Oh, by the way, yeah, you're right. There's been an awful lot of massive void scent roaming
Yeah.
around."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Now that you mention it,
What? You don't think you would mention that earlier, but okay.
not even the small kind.
No,
the real
really
massive
powerful ones. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're sorting it out.
Yeah. They theorize that it's probably from the mountain around Lapis Manalis.
Yes, from a Reaper village they've heard of from Euless, and they're like, let's go see Euless. He probably knows more than we do.
Yes.
There's no way you can get there by air or.
Well, we don't
Steola.
know that until Euless explains it to us.
No, he says that the
Yeah.
winds are too crazy. So we meet up with Eolus again, and he, I think he's the one who talks about the reconstruction of Garlemald. That's where I remember really
Yeah, I
like
think
him
so.
Yeah, I
saying
believe
it.
so.
When you go to like Camp Broken Glass.
Yeah. And so yeah, he's also working on obviously restoring Garlemald, and then he's like, yeah, well, yeah, Lapis Manalis, that's where it is, probably. But you can't fly there because the winds are too like crazy. It's like full on stormy wind, so you can't go there. And there's no way you'll get there by foot because of the weather. So
and then we're like, do you have a means to get there at all? And then he's like, yeah, you could ask the ceruleum people.
Yeah,
tap the ceruleum. They have a big, really square tank called the Mammoth.
Yes. So does the moment with Zero and Euless happen before or after the dungeon?
No, that's after. No, this is the point where we head over to the Tapper's Den with Alizé, and then Zero's like, I want to come along. I have questions for this child.
Okay.
Yeah.
For this child?
Alizé.
Oh, right. Oh, yes, right. She has this like moment with her.
She's like, why? Why would you do this? This is. They don't offer you anything.
Touches her hat.
Yeah. Zero, I get it. We've done this. No, please.
Yeah. So she's like trying to understand why you would do this when in her eyes you don't get anything from it.
There's no sippy ether to get out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so Alizé explains it like vaguely. I don't think Alizé fully understands Zero's how Zero works. So she's like giving kind of like yeah. She's like, well, obvious. I mean, I do it because it's right or whatever. That's what she says, and she's like,
yeah.
That's shit, dude. So yeah, then
you're a sucker, Alizé.
What happens then? That's when we go back to
the engineer. We go back, bring him back to Broken Glass, and then he's like, "Oh, it's big. I need big, strong people." And Estinian is like, "We can volunteer."
Yeah.
And then it's like Varshan says nothing, even though apparently he's been volunteered as well.
Yeah.
And Stoll is like, "I'm not strong, but I can defend you."
Yeah. And so I think that's when they like leave, and we have this moment with Zero and Euless where
no, not yet.
No, Jesus, is that after the dungeon?
No,
it's not after.
But you've got to have the Void Scent have to invade.
Oh, right. I'm getting ahead of I'm so excited about that fucking dumpling, dude. I can't wait to talk about the dumpling.
That is
so close. We're so
Zero
close.
and Alphino go back and give out food to the people at Tertium.
Yeah.
And Alizé and us go out and like, well, yeah, let's clean out some Void Scent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we kill.
And that's where there are a lot of freaking gnats.
Yeah. And the dude on the chair from Void Ark.
That's afterwards. That's after.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, Lucio. So
I just want to talk about the goddamn dumpling. Okay.
Well, we're almost at the dumpling, Lucio.
Yeah. Okay. What happens now?
Yeah. So after we kill some stuff, it shifts over to Alphino and Zero, and then Alphino gets called over and is like, yeah, my daughter is sick, and then Alphino gets pulled away, and then that's when Euless walks in with his 1990s paper bag full of booze, and then he offers it to Zero, and then she's like, "Why are you doing this?" And she's like, "I have a contract."
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Such an awkward conversation.
Yeah. It's good.
Right on.
I mean, because it would be awkward. Yeah. And that's when he pulls out a booze, which is just
They're too big to be the equivalent of real world booze.
No, yeah, it's weird. They're like the size of like a round like bread. Like it's crazy. So he hands it over, and then I don't care what they're saying because at some point he just rips it apart, and it's.
I hate. This bothers me.
$1,000 million of budget.
I know the animation is really nice, and it's clearly why they do it. But the fact I would never eat a dumpling like this.
Yeah, why would you bite into it, right?
Well, I mean, it's
you would never rip it in half.
No,
People
that's true.
keep telling me that it's to keep it cool, and like I understand that, but just like I've never known anyone to eat a dumpling like this.
Yeah.
They also eat it really strangely, where they have one in each hand. So now they just have
Yeah.
no means of like doing anything.
Well,
They're
true.
just stuck until they eat one of them. But then they're not even eating them one at a time. They eat one and then they take a bite from the other. This whole scene
Yeah.
bothered me.
Yeah.
That
Fucking-
part
Have you
bothered me a
seen
little.
how thick the dumpling outside is? Like,
Yeah, that's why I'm.
that's
What I
just
mean.
so chewy and
that's why.
glutinous.
That's why I think they did it. What they really want is the filling in this thing because
Yeah,
the
the bread's waste,
It's like
apparently.
this. The bread is this
Or the
thick
dough, or
around
whatever
it.
it
The
is.
dough.
Mm.
Also,
Hey man, listen, akimbo style.
I mean,
you want in each hand.
if you were to eat it just like with your, I mean, it's this big.
Yeah.
I think I too instinctively would have like ripped it apart at least to make it more manageable.
You get a knife and fork out for this.
Yeah, it's
That's like
big.
those fancy dumplings that you share.
Yeah.
with like a
Yeah,
people,
it's
don't
like
you?
a family. He comes over with a family-sized dumpling, and
Yeah.
meanwhile, some other people are starving behind him.
But that whole scene was just flex. Like
Oh,
he
100%.
effortlessly
Absolutely.
did that, and then he took a bite, and the
so-
bite disappeared.
Yeah.
Yes. So the food was impressive. The movement of their mouths as they ate, I found very uncanny.
Yeah,
I guess.
they were like, it was like chewing the cud.
Yeah.
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 The dysmorphing of their faces, I just think it's not quite, the technology's not there.
Yeah, they do have
one
a
other
bonding
thing about-
moment. Yes, go on.
One other thing about this scene, I had a lot of opinions about this one particular scene, is that Euless says like they add spice to it, and he was talking about it like it's the most foreign concept to a Garlean. Like they have no concept
Oh,
of
yeah.
like flavor in
Oh.
Oh, the
Garlemald.
world is basically Kay's kitchen.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it's like both Kay's Kitchen and the Nordics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Garlemald is essentially. It's like
No,
evil Nordic.
It's the Roman Empire, though.
Yeah, but they have the culture.
Yeah,
of
but they're the
Roman Empire,
culture
not,
of-
Yeah.
not the environment.
That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
They
Didn't
eat
they just say
washed, my
something
love.
that it was just spicy?
Yeah.
That wasn't common for in there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Because
No,
It's spicy, so it's not for children.
that's what he said.
Too spicy.
Well,
for
we have
kids.
to remember a cold country does not have spices because nothing grows there. So that's why.
I know.
I mean, it's just herbs.
This is a massive
usually.
culture shock to them. All these,
Yeah.
all these like displaced
Well,
Garleans.
no, but that's
of-
weird
in these-
because Garlemald has so many provinces. Did they not import spice? Are they stupid? Did they
No,
not?
no.
No,
This
they
is
clearly
a
not.
luxury
Cuisine is
deal.
the
They
best.
don't need spice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an empire that's like has a supremacy concept, you're not. I don't think you're really gonna easily adopt some of the stuff you like foods or even some
I mean-
seasonings, I guess, from
Yeah.
the culture you
Correct. I
subjugate.
mean, look at English cuisine. Other than
curry.
Indian food,
Yeah.
what else did they end up importing?
That's a good point.
The
Yeah.
Indian people that made the curry.
They literally had access to
Mm.
all the world's
Wow.
spices, and they still just ate fish
Yeah,
and
tea,
chips
too.
and pickled shit.
Although a lot of tea is Indian, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, they have a
Can
big.
move on.
Yeah,
but I'm
let's
sure they
move on
wanted us
from
to
the
talk about
boots.
that scene for a very long time because they put
Yeah.
a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
had
also-
almost no outcome, but it was
No, but
lovely.
it had a moment of bonding between the two of them.
Yeah.
So,
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
did you guys think that like they're teasing like a ship between Zero and
Yes.
100%. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
see,
felt like
it
that
was
to
more
me.
obvious that when she like fell later in the story and he like caught her. I'm like, okay, well,
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
it's
They're in
done.
love.
I didn't get that impression at all. Really.
Oh,
They're immediately
it's coming,
in love,
Rollo.
It's-
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
happening.
Well, I don't know if it's going to happen. It might be one-sided on Ulysses' side, but I do like this pairing because I like that Zero's taller than him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Because
how it should be.
we know that there's never going to be any romantic plot involving our character. So
Yes.
and so far we haven't really had any like big romantic plots with any characters, like of any side characters really, other than. But she died.
But
and
yeah, she died.
We never got to see that happen. But the Chais are the only like real. But they were already a couple,
They were already
right?
married.
They were already married. They've already lived a life for a while. So
On a slightly related note, I like how Alize is jealous that we went to like, almost the void with Graha.
yeah,
She specifically brings it up when we first arrived.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have our date with Emmerich, that's true. But also so Y'shtola and Runar. That is not a satisfying plot with Y'shtola and Runar, though, because that felt very. it felt
One-sided as
very
well.
one-sided. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah. Okay, we need to move on from the dumpling scene.
Yeah.
We travel to. We get the mammoth eventually after.
No, you've missed a key
The
section of the
instance
plot
needs to
here.
come in first, Lakil.
So while she's right, look here. After they eat the boots, Euless gets a call on his ear link pearl.
No, it's not that. This random guy runs in and is like, I've got something to report.
Oh yeah, he tells them that there's voice attacking, and Euless needs to go and sort it out. There's a shipment that went missing or something.
We need to
Towards
go
Canberra
defend
Nest.
the people working on the mammoth. So we go do that, and then Euless is like, there's people out there. I need to go save them.
But then Zero says, "Lol, no, I'll save them."
So yeah.
Because you're weak.
Yeah, I'm strong woman, and you're weak,
Yeah.
little boy.
Yeah. Eat
So
your
she goes
dumpling.
out, and then you do. This is when we do the instance battle, which involves role play. It's a key moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. We play
pretty good
Zero.
This Zero roleplay.
This is probably the peak of the patch.
Interesting.
Well, one of the
don't
maybe
know
one
if
of the
I-
two small peaks of the patch. But
Okay.
it was definitely at least to highlight to how because she's kind of fun to play. She has some nice combos.
Yeah, I think
her
yeah, I
5
think
where
very-
it just did a mega blast
I-
and through it. Everything was fun.
I had a problem when that was happening because I have, for some reason, changed a setting that makes it so that the bar that appears when you roleplay does not. I can't switch it to my primary hotbar, so I had to click all of the skills from the top of my hotbars.
Ooh.
Suffering.
Yeah, which I got through it, but it was not
That's
pleasant.
rough.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was a good fight though because it definitely got me.
Yeah.
Where you feel like you should have won, but you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It didn't feel like a death that was scripted. It felt like I had just failed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. 'Cause
Yeah, I thought so too.
I was, like I said, I was doing this entire patch on the Steam Deck, and I was like fumbling with the controls. a lot.
Yeah.
So like towards the end, when like I think the multiple AOE's spawn, I'm
Yeah,
like,
too many
fuck.
towers.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
You can't stand in.
And I was like, oh no, fuck! Now I gotta do this all over again. And I was like, oh okay, thanks. I'm not just bad on the controller.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was weird
That's
because
when-
I thought I died because my hotbar was like all the way at the top, and I was trying to
Yeah.
like find out how to like move it, and I'm like, oh no, I'm dying, and then I died. I'm like, okay, well I guess I have to do this again. Nope, scripted. We're supposed
gotcha.
to
That's
die.
when you get the cutscene to the last time Zero was in a big trouble like this,
Mm-hmm.
when she was fighting some Memoriates, and they
Yes.
just, we want women and food. What was it they said?
Yeah, they were
Women and food.
they were like pirates from Limsa.
Out of the way.
It was
And
cra-
then they
Okay.
just like void scented themselves and destroyed her.
yeah,
Women and wine.
women and wine. Yeah,
that cutscene, that was just Corthus Western Highlands though, right?
I'm pretty sure it was the
yeah.
That's like the frozen river that goes
think
into
so.
the thing. And I was like, you can't fucking trick me. I know
No,
where
I
that
saw
is.
it. But what I also noticed is that they had ice physics. Did you see that? Like the scratches in the ice and stuff when they were
Quite
fighting.
impressive.
Interesting. It was interesting.
And she scratched the ice at the end.
Oh yeah, she did scratch the ice as well.
Oh, that part grossed me out because it's like,
Yeah, I hate that.
Imagine if all her fingernails just snapped off.
Oh
and
no! Oh no! No. Okay. Yeah. So we get that flashback.
yeah, and then it comes back and she's not died because actually she got
Saved her.
saved by us lot.
Yeah.
And then she just is like, oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you save me? Oh, there's a fire burning in my breast.
like she's from the north of north of England, man.
Hello, Alice. Thank you for
It's
saving me,
Sean Bean.
bastard.
Yeah. So where are we now? So she wakes up.
You're so close to the dungeon. We're so close.
We're so close to the dungeon.
Yes.
The mammoth is ready now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go
it's
on the
finally
We
ready.
go on the mammoth.
And I loved it because they were like, we fixed the mammoth. Come and, come over to where the mammoth is. I'm like looking around.
Yeah.
I was expecting
When-
to see it too.
Where, I know, is it a small snowmobile?
No.
Like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know what
Where
to
is it?
expect. I
No.
was like,
No.
are we...
It's literally a moving Garlean platform.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool looking place. Like I like the scenery.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's
The scenery's
really-
cool.
the
not
scenery is cool. I don't know if
not
the machine
robot.
itself
The machine's
is that
stupid as
good.
hell.
I'm surprised they used it so much because it seems really like undynamic, like
Yeah.
unbuilt for movement.
Having something that's supposed to work in the snow with just a flat roof, that is a really bad idea because that snow's going to pile up on that shit and it's going to be really inconvenient.
That's probably why they all broke.
Kill.
What did you say, Georgi?
We need to be able to fight on top of it.
Ah, I
Kill.
see.
Right. Into dungeon.
yeah.
It starts off with it's like Academia and Hydra or whatever, the one where you're on the back of business.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as fun as that one. It's like two pulls and then you rock up.
Yeah.
It has the best part of the dungeon.
But it does, I will say about the snowmobile, it does stop before you're done fighting, which I like. It didn't feel as scripted as it is, like it does with some other
So
fights.
it stops before we're done fighting, but the guy piloting is like, no, you're not leaving till you deal with what's fighting on top of me. I'm not letting you get out of here with all your giant griffin.
Yeah. So we get into inside the mountain.
It's the main dungeon. Well, the bit before you get
there's
inside the mountain is by far my favorite.
Oh,
because
yes.
it has the big view of Babel.
You can see
little
Babel.
set piece.
Yeah.
And I feel like they didn't even like. I don't know. It's just so good. Like it was such a well designed.
Well,
little
this
bit,
is the
and
new.
You leave it straight away.
This is like I think what we're getting now because we're only getting one dungeon per patch now, but also they're set pieces for the MSQ, so they put way more attention to detail now in the dungeons. So it's actually a positive that we're getting this now, like one dungeon.
They're more diverse as well. They all
Yeah.
seem to be having like 2 or 3 distinct themes.
There's only like one moment where I'm like, I have been to this dungeon 1,000,000 times, and that's like as you enter that like cave area underground, where you can see like the blue. That felt like I have been to this dungeon many times. But other than that,
it looked like Matoya's cave at the end, but blue and also.
It's that cave texture that we've seen so many times, the bluish texture.
Yeah.
But other than that, the first fight with
Albion, the giant Sasquatch.
Albion Online, shout out.
He was anyone playing, not a bad game,
just old.
Takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I think this was my favorite of the 3 bosses.
I really like the line AoE thing with the mobs running across.
I think that was quite good.
Completely untelegraphed. The only thing that's like alerting you is the sound getting closer, and then at some point they break through the forest like shakes.
Yeah, the forest shakes.
Yeah. I think he had some quite nice movements. He's quite dynamic, quite active.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was pretty decent.
Yeah, he was all right. And then we get into the cave, and we start to see these like remnants of like a civilization, or like a
It's supposed to be a village. It's kind of more like a sanctum, I guess.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it has like
lore bits.
It has lore. There's lore bits in there, and there's like Garlean banners, and then there's Reaper banners everywhere.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The goldsmith questline stuff, though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, Gradanian originally. He was a doll maker for the Reapers.
Which I got some questions for that man. Why did you make them? Like, are you a Coomer?
Yeah.
I mean, Rollo.
True
he left
Coomer.
to seek the ultimate beauty of like succubuses and like other void scent of that nature.
Yeah.
Like, no. Because there's something going on here. Either he made that design, or it's passed down because there's multiple dolls.
Yes.
Rollo, the peak is Goth Lowly.
I suspect he did make that design, Rollo.
Why were they ripped?
He likes that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to fight you as well.
This is
The leaders are going to fight you.
Yeah.
Who summoned a void scent and then was like, ew, gross, and beat him with a stick until the void scent returned to the void.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
It's
the
just
pop
like-
succubus he wanted.
It's like, hey man, like you're master doll maker. We need dolls to train our sacred art. All right,
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
Let me. I gotta be horny.
I don't know why you.
I
don't
gotta
know why
be
you
horny.
can't understand this man.
I don't know why you're
okay, all right.
just be on
You don't
side.
think-
Just be on
you don't
side,
think-
okay?
You don't think his horniness is part of why he felt alienated? Because like the other Reapers were like, this is interesting. Why are you designing like a main training dummy like
Okay,
this?
all right, cool. Sexy lady. We need to move on.
Yeah, the second boss
She-
was the
Yeah. She's
Galaxy
creaking
Magna.
and she's very creaky.
Yes.
This doll,
she
real doll.
was
Lube her up a little bit.
Yeah, Chad is again bringing up something. Her dialogue at the end changes depending on how quickly.
yeah, she gives you a rating,
Oh yeah,
which I didn't notice the first time around, so I don't know how I did, and I've obviously never been back and probably won't ever go back.
yeah. Okay.
I think she was the weakest boss.
Yeah, I don't really even remember her mechanics, to be perfectly honest.
I
with
didn't
you.
particularly enjoy her.
So.
She's cut and dry.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the part where you had to like you put markers down and then she did like cross AoEs across the arena.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that was good because it
Yeah.
was kind of like a weak devour or something. But
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
that
reference
one at
the-
least you had to think about the direction she was going at.
Yeah.
They reference the job trainer too, based on the rating. Like, oh, you're almost as good as the Reaper job trainer or whatever.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay. We then move further in. We then make it to. So you pass through all this
Oh, this
stuff.
was good. You go along this bridge and then it breaks.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
the thing
But
is,
you're
if you're not one of the first people that goes across that bridge when it breaks, Mailer, when you run off, you kind of do a Looney Tunes run before you fall down.
that's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Then we fall into the lower part of.
The cerulean
dungeon.
vault, I
Yeah.
guess.
That's where we get to see huge amounts of ceruleum. I think that's
Pure
a first.
ceruleum.
I don't think we've
Yes,
seen
I mean,
this
well,
much. We've seen the cerulean
Northern
pools in.
Thanalan,
Yeah, but we
We've
don't
seen the
see it.
Fields at a distance in Northern
Yeah.
Thanalan, but
Yeah.
nothing was close up.
nothing.
This is like
yeah.
This
is
the
steaming
biggest.
hot
This is
ceruleum.
this is what created the Allegan empires. Like these
Yeah.
like reserves of ceruleum, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you can see it like sort of dripping out of the crystal, because that's what it is. It's like liquid
Yeah.
crystal, essentially.
Just like in Matoya's relic.
Yes. This is.
Almost like they just recolored it.
I mean, there's only so many textures you can give liquid like
No,
this.
I-
Yeah, I mean, ceruleum
I'm only
has
messing
a
around.
look, and that is it's this.
It just looked a lot like her.
That part of the dungeon looked like so many of the past
Yeah.
dungeons. Looks like the end of Cutter's Cry. It looks like parts of like some of the Heavens Words.
Middle of Samal.
Yeah, Somal. Yeah.
Don't worry. Once you get to the end, you're greeted
Mm-hmm.
by the worst rendition of Kanyatso they could have gone for. He's not even some creepy crawly turtle. Man.
I
He's
thought
just a
he was
dude.
good.
I did too. I liked Kanyatsu's
Yeah.
design in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
And the thing is, Mailer,
close
he does this
in-
traditional pose when he's doing his
Yeah,
like
that is true.
unit break. He
Yeah.
gets on all fours and he's
And that-
bubbly around him.
Yeah.
That's how I wanted him all the time. But whatever.
Yeah.
He
So
was a decent fight,
Kanyatso.
actually, as well.
Yeah.
Dies too easily, maybe. Not sure about his voice. He sounded more like a Cockney geezer than I expected.
Well, are you
I-
expecting, like me, expecting them to be Italian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love
Well,
everyone
that's the
from
thing.
the
Yeah.
voice
The
center
voice
just speaks
center
with
is-
me Italian.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
The
are.
voice said when Zero first confronts them, kind of has like a fucked up Italian void accent. But
Mhm.
that's the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we fight him, and that's when he's.
Right.
Yeah, the fight is fine. I like.
But it's pretty good.
I like the whatever that limit break thing is. That's a
I
cool,
like when
stressful
they're swimming
moment.
around and leaving splashes everywhere, and also the part where you had to like direct the cones away from everyone.
Yeah.
Which is a common Savage mechanic, but not as common in normals.
Right. Yeah. True. But then when we defeat him, he's like, I'm doing my part, or I'm gonna finish my part, whatever he says.
Yeah.
And then he, like, there's like something that is that like a void gate that opens or something. I think something happens. I don't remember exactly what
No.
happens in that cutscene.
No, he just pulls out Ashdai's eyes like,
Oh yeah,
this is
first
what you're here for, isn't it?
well he opens. That's where it comes out of, right? It comes out of like a rift, and then the eye comes out. I
I
think.
thought the rift was always just open, and then he just like made it appear.
Oh, maybe he just made
Yeah.
it appear. I'm just focusing
He
too
just
much on the
closes
rift.
after he
Yeah, he
dies.
closes. I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. That's the big reveal is that he's got her eye, Ashdai's eye.
Oh, no.
No.
We're back to the dragon eyes again.
Yeah. The worst thing is that in my broken mind, for a second, I
Nidhogg.
thought, is that Nidhogg's?
Do you know
Is there no escaping this goddamn eye?
if that had been Nidhogg's eye, this would have been Game of the Year. Right, so that would have been so funny.
Yeah.
For that to be brought, you would have been so angry.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'd be so fucking pissed.
Can I say, I find dragon eyes really uncanny. How they're like perfectly round. There's like nothing about them that suggests that they come from inside.
There's
the
no like
dragon's head.
connection to like.
No, and then they seemingly are able to pull them out and put them back in with no damage to themselves.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
And
Is it unpleasant
I mean-
or?
yeah.
Raicher's doing it every time when he puts it inside Varshan.
Yeah. It's gross.
Why is that a thing dragons can do? Like, why is there energy stored in their eyes? And they can just really
It's
go
just
like,
a cultural thing.
it's like right out,
Yeah.
pop it out.
Yeah. There was a moment where he like when I don't know who's holding the eye. Is it Varshan? And it just looks like he's holding a giant orange.
Mm.
And there's like a
And there's
moment
part
where yeah, go on.
Yeah. After Kanyatsu like vanishes because like I finally got the death I wanted.
Yeah.
Welcome back, the great. He calls it the great flow. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
It makes it sound gross. And then like Varshan holds the eye close to him. I was like, oh, is he gonna kiss it?
That's
gross.
what I thought too. I thought he was gonna kiss it or like
Yeah.
lick it or something. It's like, what the fuck is
Ooh,
happening?
lick it.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, we then leave.
This is the worst part of the patch.
Yeah, we go back to Mega Doodoo.
Yeah.
No, not yet. No, you forgot the whole worst part of the patch.
What's
Yeah, that's
that?
probably why. I've already forgotten it. What happened?
The part where we have to just go through the dungeon.
Oh,
and
right, we have to go
collecting stuff.
back.
Because they think now that they've done it once, they should do it every patch. Because
Yeah.
last time when we went through Void Castle, whatever that was called, it was kind of
Troya.
neat and exciting. Yeah, Troya. And the zone looked nice. This time, we walked through minutes and minutes of empty corridors doing nothing of value, picking
Yeah.
up a bucket. Which bucket's the right bucket? Let's go and get some ceruleum. The game had to teleport us because they knew how boring it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this was very unnecessary.
that was a
It
little
was
unnecessary.
so unnecessary. It was pure padding.
We were wowed the first time. If you're gonna do it again, make it feel like we have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Like,
first time there were all these like NPCs to
Yeah.
talk to. This is a giant empty cave.
yeah.
They filled it with stuff to do.
It felt natural last time. This time, not so much.
Didn't feel right. And last time we used it as a staging base to get to the next area.
Yes.
To get to Zero's
Yeah.
domain.
Yeah.
Nothing. No point here. Just
No.
leave.
Well, we're getting ceruleum. That's like
Don't
the whole.
do it next time.
We have
if
to-
you're
we
gonna
have
do
to-
this again.
We have to find a barrel that we can use to carry ceruleum to the mammoth to refuel it, so we can go back.
No, it's just to bring back to the camp or something.
Just to bring back to the
Oh,
Guardians.
I
So they-
already forgot that
Alpha no wanted to also just
I thought we were
just
refueling.
loot the Reaper's house. for
That's how much I
scraps.
cared about this part of the quest.
Yeah.
I just assumed we're gathering ceruleum for the mammoth. Okay, so we're gathering ceruleum for the settlement and whatever. Really? Just a little that barrel we picked was so small.
No, we only
Everyone
could
got a
carry one.
barrel.
But then if you talk to, I think you talk to someone, one of the NPCs, it might have been Alpha or Elizé, they say, the mammoth is actually completely full of ceruleum now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
much ceruleum.
okay.
I see. So there was like a moment that we didn't see where we just kept going back and forth.
Because if we had to, imagine if we had to do that like 10 times.
Yeah. Also, that moment where we can walk around in the dungeon, I think, is also for people that missed the lore notes, maybe, so you can have more
You
time.
can't read the lore notes when you go back.
Oh, so it's not even for
That
that.
sucks.
So it's Thank you for that.
Thanks.
That one wasn't necessary.
Okay. Well, that makes no sense to do. But all right. Cool. Now we return to Garlemald.
No, they're like, good luck.
Yeah, we essentially say
Garlemald.
we have a moment with I think Zero and Alice. They have a moment again.
Yeah,
I think, but it's just there's character development happening with Zero in this patch.
Zero.
Yeah. Okay, so after we say goodbye to the twins, we return to Mega Doodoo.
Mm-hmm. Do you know its real name?
Megaduta, yeah. But it is Mega Doodoo. Yeah, Mega Doodoo.
Oh, sorry.
DD Mega yeah, that's what it is.
DD Mega Doodoo.
DD Mega Doodoo. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's such a bad day at work for her. Okay, so we then we're like, okay, done with that distraction. Let's get to the void using our portal in Alcidel's Legacy. And then, oh no! Just as we're about to leave, there is a big flash in the distance.
The comet shoots across the sky.
Thank God it was close by.
Yeah, thank you. And they're like, oh my God, it's at some island whose name I will never remember because it's difficult.
No, it's not really relevant.
Vanuatu, probably, I don't know.
Yeah. And we're like, we have to go there because there's something void.
Well, why wouldn't we? Because something massive just appeared.
Yeah, it was huge.
It's crazy.
And we run down there.
Ruach Daya.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a dude that's like, what the fuck? There's a monster.
You run towards the explosion.
Yeah. There was like a huge thing that appeared, and they flew off in the direction of the big mountain.
Big pink mountain.
Yeah, I don't remember its name. They did say the name.
Hagda or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, it's essentially the giant skull mountain at the end.
Yes. There's a man who knows a way up.
Yes.
Well, first we split up. Astinian and Y'shtola go to check on the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what does Ritra do? What does Varshan do here?
Exists.
It moans, probably.
It moans.
I think
cry.
Yeah.
He tries to help people evacuate.
Yeah,
So
something heroic.
Us and Zero,
Yeah.
we talk with NPCs, and
We go to the hatchery.
That's how you get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to talk
Everyone's
to.
doing something, and we go and check on the dodos.
We have to talk to Play-Doh face man. I always forget his name.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh God, is that who we talked to? I didn't zoom in. And
Yeah.
see his horrible face.
Yeah.
Always bullying that poor
His
man.
Nabdeen.
skin-graft face.
Yeah. And then we go to, so he's like, yeah, this is where you go. We go to the base of the mountain. There's a dude there that you talk to. By the way, when you're on that, like, when you're talking to him, that ground texture is something. I just have to say, that is a ground texture to behold. And he leads you or guides you up to the mountain, or at least he tells you where to go.
Yeah, he tells you how to
Like, I'm
climb
not
up.
going up there.
Yeah.
Did you see the fiery meteor that went up there?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to get there.
Yeah. So we go to the mountain, and there's a tiny little zone there that you can that we'll
I like
eventually
this.
transport it to.
Cute.
I'm sure we'll never go back there.
No, and this is where you gather up for the party for the fight. Obviously, you Ruby Conte.
There's a man
where
there.
Ruby Conte appears. He's
Yeah.
like, "Ah."
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, that's what he did.
So let's talk about his fight. We need to speed up. This is definitely an XL episode, by the way. We find him.
Yeah.
So his fight. How do you feel about it? Just talking
I haven't
about
done
the
next yet, but it seems in line with the last one. I think.
Yeah,
With,
it's
The
easy. I
music's
think
very good.
the music is good. I like the music.
Good. I don't think it's as
The
strong
fight
as
is-
Barbaricha.
The fight feels very easy, but you can see the extreme version sort of while
Sure,
fighting.
sure.
So you know that this is going to probably be a decent extreme, which I haven't done. I don't think any of us have
No,
done it
I've
yet.
not done the extreme yet.
No.
So, but yeah, I like the mechanic.
Might be a good extreme.
Might be, yeah.
Might not be.
Yeah,
But
tentative.
normal mode. I think it reflected most of the
Layla's-
patch.
Yeah.
Layla's preemptively upset about the extreme because of the fact that it can be Doritoed.
Yeah, apparently it can be Doritos,
okay.
but don't worry.
Okay.
If I ever get a Dorito put on me, I'll just run into the edge of the arena,
Don't put a Dorito on Mela.
God.
and then everyone can follow me.
Yeah.
I think Barbariccia threw off more people. I think at first, especially in
Yeah.
normal mode.
Yes.
I mean,
Like some of there are newer mechanics, I guess here.
Yeah.
But Rubicante feels more stuff we expect. I think like there's
Yeah.
nothing that was like, oh my god,
Oh.
what the fuck is this?
Right.
yeah, I was told to wait for it because Lucia was doing it, and then we did it,
Mm-hmm.
and it cleared it first try. And
Yep.
almost every mechanic you could already predict, and the ones that were maybe a
like-
bit interesting.
I mean, I feel like Melee, you did it with a bunch of people that had already done it. When I did it, there was a point where there was only me and the 2 tanks that were still alive, so I had to do quite a lot of recovery on my first run of it. So I don't think it's necessarily
Maybe
as,
chat
like,
ruined my
intuitive.
experience then.
impossibly. I don't think it's as intuitive as you might think on first try, because like chat would have been like running to where they already knew they had to go.
Yeah, unless it's confirmed that it was first time for them all.
I mean, obviously, it was my first
Obviously,
time.
it was yours.
But it's fine.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. It wasn't difficult.
I remember this is the
I don't-
last one of the 4 fiends. Then it's like
I mean, yeah, I didn't care for his mid-fight transformation and how impressively
Yeah.
he tried to talk it up.
It was like nothing. He got a
Yeah.
wing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first one to see this form.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
bit disappointing.
I was like, oh, okay, man.
Yeah, cool wing, dude.
yeah.
One-winged angel much?
Did it even add any mechanics? I can't even remember.
Seen that before. Yeah, I don't even remember if the mechanics changed significantly at all. I do like the mechanic where he does like the environment changes. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where it
Um,
turns fire. It turns into the real Mount
Mount
Ordeals, I guess.
Ordeals, yeah.
I still just feel like Barbariccia's design was just so much more strange and like in a good way, you know, like it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Her entire second form was fabricated for this game. I don't think. Whereas I think both of Rubicante's forms in this fight already existed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Barbariccia was a much stronger 4-fiend trial than Rubicante.
I think I agree.
Based on the
but I
normal
also-
mode, I agree, but I don't know.
Well,
about the
yeah.
extreme
Let's see what the extreme's like.
Yeah.
I also thought that Barbariccia's like arena and song and like background song were worse. I think this was a much more cinematic enjoy.
Yes, I would agree.
I agree with that. Yes.
Maybe better for the story because you get that big experience,
Mm-hmm.
but mechanically not as good.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So when we defeat Rubicante, he's being very
Well, this is where Zero comes in. And they have a nice long conversation.
yeah. He like starts. He's very eager to share information about.
Well, first with Zero, he's like, "You're helping these mortals.
Oh, yeah.
Why? What
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
getting out of it?" And then I want to do something good.
Yes.
And then it's like, "Oh, you insult me."
Yeah. And then he reveals that that Golbez wants to travel to the source. He essentially wants to like we said, he essentially wants to invade
Yeah,
the
you
source.
can black and white.
Yeah,
all
it's
of
essentially that's we called that one.
He wants to invade it so they can die.
Yes, essentially. They want to
Very
die.
anime.
Well, ones in charge want to die. I
Yeah.
don't know if the lesser voids have such altruistic motives.
Right. But then there's a big reveal because he says you like go see Golbez on the moon.
Of the 13.
Of the void moon, essentially. So
And they're like, well, you just destroyed our only way of getting there, so you
Yeah.
made it significantly more difficult.
yeah. And then that sort of ends. It sort of farts. We go back. We go. We learned that the portal in Alcedal's legacy has been destroyed.
Tells us via Link Pearl as we're running up to
Yeah.
see Rubicante.
Yes, that's where we learned that. And then, so we go back now after learning about Golbez. I don't remember if the cutscene with Golbez is that when we're completely done? That's like a post.
That's at the very, very end.
Yeah. So we go back to Megadudu, I think. I think that's where we finish off. And I honestly don't remember how they wrap it here.
Well, Y'shtola's like, okay, I need to go to Charlie and try and find another way to get back to the void.
Right.
Mystinia's like, I'll go train. Zero's like, I'll be here.
Right, yes. Yeah. And then cut to Golbez, who's now alone.
On the moon.
On the moon, but this was like a huge moment in the whole cutscene is when Golbez like is walking across his like little whatever that place is, and then the camera starts zooming out, and then you realize that he is in like that like a hole in the moon that looks
of darkness.
Yeah, it looks like the hole that we have in our moon. And then it pulls out and we get to see like the moon and then the 13th, like the whole planet.
Yeah, that bit was cool where you looked down on the planet.
Yeah, you see like
it was all like
that planet's
black and
fucking
veiny.
Destroyed. That is so ruined.
Yeah. Hey, we're not joking at all.
So that was cool, and that confirms that there were land masses still that we could see on that planet, even though it is severely corrupted. But yeah, that
also
poor planet.
During this, we see that Ajdaya is still just captured.
Oh yeah, that's a huge moment too. Yeah, she's like captured in there as well. And there you go. That's
our other eye now.
Yeah, but there was a Zodiac hole in the moon.
Yeah,
they said is that Zodiac was. I believe Yoshi-P said this in a Q&A.
It calls back to what we talked about with the like. So there was a Zodiac on every moon, and then we scoffed. Yeah. But yeah,
and then
a bit of Zodiac.
Like when we defeated Anima, all the Zodiacs from all the shards vanished.
Yes.
So there's just the hole in place.
There's just a hole.
I wonder if Golbez started constructing his little platform in that hole while Zodiac was still there, or if he waited until we killed it.
But he must have gone like, what the fuck? It just suddenly disappeared.
Where's the...
There was that demonic creature that I built my base around.
Drake. He's been building this for like 2,000 years or something.
What a reference.
Well, the other thing is,
where's Zodiac, Drake?
The time moves differently across different shards.
That's
so
true.
It's possible that he has been working on it 2,000 years since we destroyed Zodiac.
Yeah.
God, that would be depressing.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the MSQ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need
What's
to talk
your
about.
opinion on it overall?
Yeah, let's quickly then. I think
the definition of mid. I think.
Yeah, I think this felt.
There was a lot of filler. There was so much slow progress of watching Zero painfully try and gain a second dimension to her personality. Not quite, hadn't quite got there, but there were a few highlight moments. But I really feel, I just feel like there wasn't enough of like a cliffhanger tease.
I agree. Well, I think the Golbez, because the Golbez reveal is like, it's a reveal, but what does it mean? Like, okay, he's not on the planet, he's on the moon. Yeah, we've done
that.
But what is going to be different on the void moon? Like, I don't know.
Like, I'm excited to see where they go with it, but I feel like this wasn't a very strong.
I also think that I am not as invested in what's happening to Zero in this quest because I already know what's going to happen. You know, I've already seen this in many stories before.
Emotionally what her journey is going to be. So that's the less interesting part. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen to her.
Right, that's true. There's something there. But
the thing I felt between this and the last patch is that I feel like they introduced the Four Lords and they're like, oh, we're going to get through them. Yeah. So like they they accelerated through them by putting 2 in each patch. It felt like the Four Lords, especially after completing both patches, felt like fan service.
Yes,
I agree.
And why were 2 of them relegated to dungeons? They felt less important.
Yeah.
No.
But they were also so going in order of strength.
Imagine how stretched out this could have been if we had to fight one each patch.
I know.
I think that would have been frustrating. I'd be like, I get it. These are the bosses from that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did it so dungeon trial, because they were like, we got 4 of them. We don't really want to stretch up. We've already realized this part of the story is kind of like busy worky, so like we'll just get rid of them as quickly as possible.
Yeah. It also this might be why it feels like this. I think they just finished this arc now, and now we're starting with the pivot in the next patch. I think because that felt like we've set the stage sufficiently now for the big pivot moment, and I think that's going to come in the next one.
Definitely the weakest point 3 patch since I would say a Realm Reborn.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
5.3, I think, is one of my favorites, especially with the Trial Warrior of Light. Is like, amazing, and just the story moment too, because that's it's wrapping up the stuff on the first. You get the sending crystallizing Graha, and it's like a big.
5.3 is one of the best patches we've ever had in this game.
Yeah.
And even going like to 4.3, I still think is really good too. With Under the Moonlight and Yotsuyu and all like.
Was that the Tsukiyomi one?
Yeah.
That was a good one, and like finally seeing her defeated by the Mirror and Asahi and all this blah blah blah.
And then also, and even 3.3 with Nidhogg, that was a very climactic moment in the story.
The moment when you're on the bridge looking down with all the other players, that was such a good day for me. All of these were so good, and yet this one, what?
But they warned us beforehand. This would not be the pivot into the next story. They told us it wouldn't be until 0.5.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. It's just a little bit slow.
That's the interesting thing, because this, like I said, it feels like the pivot should come in the next patch. So, but it won't, because the next patch is 0.4. What the frick are we gonna do
with Golbez in 0.4, and then 0.5 starts a whole new storyline?
That's possible, actually. Yeah. They just needed to get the
ultimate like filler arc then.
Yeah. We're gonna.
I wouldn't even say it's a filler. It's like it's continuing, like it's fleshing out the
void
story.
And I mean, the Warriors of Darkness felt like filler at the time. This might come back and be way more relevant in the future.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, they've set up for 10 years, so hopefully none of it's wasted, and hopefully it all wraps up nicely in the end.
Yeah. Just because the MSQ, this part of the MSQ is weak, I mean, I'm still invested in the story, obviously. And also, I mean, while the MSQ was weak, the Alliance Raid story was something else.
My God.
Yeah.
Juicy.
24-man perfected.
Okay.
This is
This is on the way to being the best 24-man series since the Crystal Tower.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
This
and easily the best like instances since.
This
maybe Ravenous.
This revealed a lot about the 12. I mean, obviously, that's what the whole story is supposed to do. It's supposed to give us the answers to what the 12 are. The previous quest line, I was a little... Or the the previous quests, I was a little... I don't know if I was unsatisfied, but I was worried.
I mean, they were still being mysterious. Now that they know us a bit better, they're a bit more open with us.
Yeah. We meet... So the quest starts with Derek, of course, who we still think... I think after this, even more sure that it's Oshan.
Yes.
So we meet up with him, and Graha brings... This is really funny moment, where it's like, okay, we're going to continue our research, and then...
first Kryl walks in,
and Kryl.
Then you see Graha in the background.
See Graha struggling in the background with this huge apparatus on his back. And this is like cutting-edge technology, actually. We thought it was old shit, but this is like cutting-edge from like straight from Charlian.
Compared to the goggles... This not only records it. This not only allows you to see the ether. It records it on like a disc that can be studied afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a computer.
They've invented the CD-ROM. So they go. We then go see. We go back to the Phantom Realm, which. Is
Omphalos.
Yeah, the Omphalos.
Yeah, Omphalos. And see Snowgime.
I need to ask this question. Who came up with the name Omphalos? Because my memory is telling me that Derek told us, said Derek came up with the name when we first came here, but I can't remember that. Because it's interesting that the gods just call it Omphalos. in this patch, if that is the case. But I don't remember if like he found something that told him this is the name of this place, or if he made it up.
I think it might have been. It wasn't trial, was it?
I don't remember who came up
If
with that
it was
name.
Derek, then that just gives more credence to him being Osh on there.
What does
See, that's what I was thinking.
What does Omphalos mean?
It means the navel.
Naval.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Titan.
So we meet with Snogheim. And she's like, look at the thing, and she's like, I can't decipher it.
Well, she presents it as a massive discovery.
Yeah.
Like I've got a big thing to tell you.
Yeah, this is huge.
I can't read it.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, I can't read
There's
it.
something written here.
Yeah,
and apparently it's in a language that is understandable.
But I kind of agreed with that. I think the understanding that you can't understand something is big.
That's true. I agree. She found out that there is something.
Process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, maybe there's something we have to use the I don't remember exactly what she called the words, but like they use there's some words that you have to speak to it to like maybe unlock it. That's her theory. And so
it's the heaven of earth.
Yeah.
Where we were going to investigate the heavens of lightning and fire, but she's like, it'd be so useful if we could just talk to a god.
Yeah. And the correct way, and she even says like, according to the legend, the next heaven would be
Gridanian legend.
Yeah, the next heaven is heaven on earth. Yeah, she does. Well, yeah, we're getting to that as well. So she's like heaven on earth, according to the because this is a Gridanian faith thing, the heaven of earth. We have to say the magic words, essentially, and she says that is open Muntai, which of course Muntai sellers. And you have the choice of going open Muntai or open Muntai, and of course
dejected.
Yeah,
Muntai.
I of course picked the dejected one because I can't believe I'm saying that, and it turns out that was the right word to say because that did activate.
She's a Charlene scholar.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing in heaven. So yeah, it opens the heaven of earth. And
out pops an orange little spirit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A big spirit.
A very big. A couple of big spirits.
A couple of big spirits appear.
Lord.
Naufika confirmed being well
very
endowed.
Well endowed.
Yeah.
And looks huge tracts of land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charming all year round.
She looks exactly like she does in all the depictions.
Exactly.
I think Snogheim's reaction to Naufika in this moment
she's so
very
starstruck.
Much represents a lot of players right now.
Yeah.
She's the player insert at
yeah,
that
absolutely.
Where she's like, whoa, they really are milky and big.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. She's like, you're interested in our the cipher thing. Well, we might have what you need, but to get it,
we like fighting people for some reason.
You have to fight us. And so that's what we decide to do. Do we get to see the others as well, don't we? Or no, not yet. Yeah, right. We just go in.
Only Naufika appears here. So you say they like fighting for some reason, Mela. This doesn't bother me. I feel like there's so many real world mythologies where gods just do things because they want to do them.
Yeah.
This doesn't surprise me or weird me out at all.
Because they're bored. They're gods. What the fuck are they doing?
Well, I mean, later on in the quest, I think it kind of says why that they just enjoy interacting.
Yes. Oh yeah, that comes later. That's a really good part of the quest where you get to
I think they don't, they're a little bit socially awkward. They don't really know what we like.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're very disconnected.
You're the fighting guy. So
that's fun, right? Okay, so we go into the raid. First fight, Naufika.
Graha comes with us this time.
Oh yeah.
We asked Derek, and he's like, "No,
you guys got this."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done wandering around.
Yeah. Yeah, so we go into
What
the
a
raid.
raid.
Nofika. Yeah, great. The raid is great.
Absolutely.
It's also quick. It
As the
felt really
biggest
quick.
weeping city of Mark Simp there is.
Yeah.
This has a chance.
Wow.
I don't think there's a weak fight in this raid.
There's
No.
not a weak fight, and it's tuned perfectly to be quick.
Yes.
Yes.
Compared to the first one, the first one was reasonable, but it was a little bit long on some of the fights.
I
This is
don't disagree,
perfect.
but I only really felt that at Azema it dragged in the first one. This one I don't feel anything drags.
Nothing
Right.
drags
Same.
in
I
this.
agree. And the music is so
good.
Oh,
It has this
And
like
the
crazy
violin,
fiddle.
the fiddle.
Yeah.
All of the songs have big
like-
fiddle energy.
Yeah.
Like an Irish jig. kind of
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
going on, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
Celtic.
kind of like Celtic, but also kind of like I don't know how to.
It's kind of like it's like Celtic Norse-ish. It's
yeah,
weird.
it's more than just
Yeah.
Thank you. And then
Like in a
the final
berserker
song.
rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Bring
final
that
song we
fiddle.
get to is kind of like even like it mixes like Celtic themes with like kind of like the opening to Sailor Moon.
Right.
Right, yeah,
yes. Yes.
So Nofika.
Nofika, great. A very visual
beautiful
fight. Yeah.
The background changes based on her
She does-
abilities.
I like the part where she just cuts the grass during the opening
Yes.
cutscene, and we were all
it is,
like,
Yeah.
but it gets better after that.
Yeah.
really good fight.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah. There's obviously
And
there's
it's-
a few ads.
just-
I think.
Yeah, there's very minimal trash in this
Yeah.
dungeon, but the trash is fine. It's not a big issue.
They've decided that there's only 2 sets of trash since I think the first one that only had 2 sets of trash was what's it called? Auburn Monastery, and they've kept it like that since then.
Yeah.
It's the best way to have it.
Yeah.
And then it was
Not
Alphic.
Nemea and Alphic.
And then all of a sudden, Nemea appears.
Yeah.
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 And she's like some hot little vampiress.
Got
creature.
your, like the TikTok e-girls, like the
Yeah,
goth ones, you
she's
know?
got like white
I
hair,
know.
red eyes.
Yeah.
Got that
They're right
albino
for-
look.
I
Yeah.
know
Coming in there.
everyone's obsessed with Nofika, but I think Nemea is currently my favorite of the gods.
I mean, that's
Design
very
wise.
valid. It's
Yeah.
very valid.
Yeah.
No one shouting out for Althic with his like
His head freaks me out.
snail beards that like his beard bits that have been stuck on. He looks like a statue.
Vigot
I
had
kinda
the
like that.
snaily beard as well.
Yeah.
I think
I like
the
it.
3 male gods we've seen go for the very much the like the Greek statue
Mhm.
kind of look.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
It's
But he's
yeah.
on like a horse.
But it
and
makes them
that
feel
fight's
very
really
samey.
interesting.
It's
well,
weird.
except Nelthal. Nelthal feels unique amongst the male gods.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
That's
true.
not as unique.
Yeah, that's true.
This fight gains points because it's fully two bosses.
And it plays
Throughout the whole
into Althic's time.
really
aspect.
clever, great fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
active.
if you look at Althic and Nemea, they have a buff. They have that counts down
Yeah.
and is destined to win after a certain amount of time. So I
Right.
think that it's that scene that we saw in the
Well, yes, I was
trailer.
about to ask about
because that never happens in the fight if
Right.
you clear it.
Okay, I see. So
Oh.
there's like
Okay.
they have an
I
end
think that
rage.
will
essentially.
I think it's the first time. When was the last 24 men that had an end range?
That's a good question.
They usually just don't.
Does Karl Marx? No, Engels. Doesn't he have an enrage?
Engels has an end
Engels-
range.
Because he can. Does he do the
Death Gaze has an end range, but is that really the last time we've had one?
Oh yeah.
Ultima has one.
Ultimate.
but that's kind of
Ultima.
triggered as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd have to just lose that anyway.
Yeah.
It's very rare for 24 men. It's more just about losing to the mechanics and
Yeah.
wiping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You kill them and you go into the Heaven of Ice, which is spectacular. Again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just such a visual treat.
Yes, it
It's
is.
so good. It's all the good budget in this patch went to the Alliance Raid.
And that's Halone. We get to Halone first, and there's a really
Ah.
cool point where we're on like the steps of faith because it has
Yeah,
the
like an ice
statues.
version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant fight again.
Yeah.
And then in the background of Halone's fight, you can already see
Oh yeah, you can see the moon and
Dalamud.
Dalamud. Yes. Which we'll get to. They finally did explain it.
Halone, she's got some really cool mechanics, and again, the design of her is brilliant.
It's good.
Yes.
You know, I think sometimes 14 has a little bit of a problem when they make like women bosses where it's just kind of like big lady. You know,
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of bosses in this game that are just big lady, whether that's sexy or not.
Right.
You know, it can be 50-50.
I agree.
But I think they really kind of hit a good mix here with like making the designs for them look really good.
Yes.
I think I agree with you guys. They really kind of stand out from the map.
Yes, they do.
I think the gods.
And again, Halone.
I mean, it's a shame.
Halone looks like how you would imagine again.
Exactly.
And all
She's
of this
like a northern sort of like
almost like a Valkyrie.
Priestess. Yeah, Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Warrior.
Yeah.
I would say Halone is probably the most mechanically demanding fight of the
Well,
raid.
she has a lot. She's got a lot going on. You got to keep an eye on what's going on.
She's got the memory mechanic where you have to remember the order in which AoEs appear on the ground, and then you've also got to combine that occasionally with when she shoots spears across the arena, and you have to pay attention to what sides you need to be on.
Yeah.
How do you think some of the designs compared to those old 12 PvP sets?
I can't remember them well enough.
I don't remember them well enough, Rollo.
No.
Most of the 12 PvP sets were not quite that close.
Some of them are actually closer than you think.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
Halone is, in all honesty, is like not too far off from what's actually in game. Well, I guess to be fair, Halone is just kind of a one-to-one.
Right. Yeah.
Althic as well. I think he's pretty close to the PvP one. That's just a small little thing. I think that was kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Everyone else may be kind of like,
okay, interesting. So you can cosplay as the gods already in the game. Okay, so last boss.
On Menfina, we have a little ice rail slide.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Kind of its own instance is weird.
But it's unfortunately,
it lasts for ages.
If someone pulls before you're done with that experience, you are ejected from it. You are
ruin
removed.
people's fun.
Yeah.
Don't ruin people's fun.
I didn't get to see the final part of that, but it looked fine.
Oh, that's a shame. I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah. Don't just wait outside just for that,
Yeah.
Time. But then it's Menfina's forehead.
Yeah, we get to see her forehead again.
So everyone made such a big deal of her forehead. I don't think in the moment, the experience of the patch itself, it's not as out there as it was in the.
I didn't even know there was two moons in the sky because her forehead was blocking them out. Yeah, I was joking. It isn't that bad, but it's just funny to make fun of it.
It's not, I think the bigger thing really is that her face is just blurry.
Yeah,
she has a blurry face, and her bright blue eyebrows fade into her skin, so it kind of looks like she has no eyebrows.
Yeah.
She's a little bit creepy looking.
Little bit.
In the moment, it's fine. I think her design overall is it's cute. It fits. Especially if it's her characterization.
She has the design of the youngest of the 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean she doesn't give a good fight.
No, her fight is quite good. She has, of course, her dog Dalamud, her loyal hound.
Loyal little puppy.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do.
Yes.
And it definitely says so in chat. Dalamud.
It does.
Casting.
It does say Dalamud. It is referred to as Dalamud. It is Dalamud because that's her dog. And the music is for that fight. Very good.
The fiddle, the Sailor Moon lyrics.
I love the fiddle. The fiddle's amazing.
Yeah.
This is one of my. I've said this before. It's a top 5 instrument.
Yeah, it's good. And the moon mechanic is her big deal, her big mechanic, her gimmick.
Oh yeah, it kind of feels like Tsukiyomi in a way.
Yes.
With the markers, but then it's kind of just behaves like a timer.
Yes.
It's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
But,
no. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit more similar to that.
Yeah.
Just good,
really good
fun raid.
I can't. There's no fault to it.
No.
It's just one of the best raids they've made.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Compare it to Alglaya.
I think Alglaya.
I think
Yes,
Aglaya was still good.
I think Aglaya was
Oh,
very
yeah.
good. I mean, especially the first time you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Aglaya was one of the strongest raids at the time as well, and I still
Exactly.
think that. It's just
Yeah.
that I think Euphrosyne may have outdone it.
Yeah.
I really like 3 of the 4 fights in Aglaya, and I think one of them is okay. I really like, at least so far. Maybe I'll get tired of some of them after a while, but I
Yeah.
really like all 4 of these fights.
Same.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think Aglaya maybe had just slightly longer pace, and maybe some of the fights were slightly too long in terms of their mechanics. Like, for example, Rolga
Yeah.
repeats mechanics quite early on in the fight.
Yes. I remember
Yeah.
that's one of our big
And you
criticisms.
just, because you still have to go through like 3 or 4 more cycles, whereas with the ones in this one, rarely you start repeating, because in a lot of cases, they started doing tank busters when we were killing them. That hadn't happened yet in the fight, so there were still new mechanics that hadn't even been seen.
I think
Yeah.
that these bosses might have more like randomness in their rotation. Like they can replace certain mechanics with certain other mechanics,
Yeah.
such that
Yeah.
you might end up not seeing some of them.
Right.
I think Aglaya wins in one aspect, which is that I think the first 2 arenas in Aglaya are 2 of the most interesting arenas we've had in like as a boss
I'd
fight
agree
arena
with
for
that.
a while now.
Mhm.
Whereas
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they did very
Euphrosyne has
well.
any of those.
Yeah.
There was not, I don't think there was any arena in Euphrosyne that was spectacular.
Right.
Other than like the visuals, but like the actual mechanics of them. So you're definitely right on that.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, one of the most important things about a raid like that is the pacing, and I think the pacing is perfect in this
Yeah.
dungeon.
I think they finally understand what kind of pacing we want from
Yes.
24 man.
Do
Or at least I
this
hope so.
again.
Yeah. Okay, now we need to just get to the end, because this is where it gets interesting. So they're like, okay, you did it, you fought us, that was fun, wasn't it? And they're like, well, you see, here's the deal. To read the cipher, you need to uncover these. We have these devices or these things hidden around the world that.
Hidden.
Yeah, hidden. That essentially stores information, and the way to read the secret is in the stones. You just need to compile them. You need to get it. You need to put it in a storage device, or something that can store information. They say so. If you can imagine, yeah,
it doesn't matter what you're imagining. It all works the same. Just
Yeah.
imagine how you perceive a storage device to be.
yeah, and of course,
Oh.
as the warrior of light, obviously that's going to be a tombstone. And it's
The frown on your character.
yeah.
It's a poetic
Yeah.
Derek,
Yeah, it's good.
Derek sees it as a map.
Yeah, because he's
Kryle
Oshon.
and Kryle and Snogheim see it as a book, and Graha sees it as a very specific book. He sees it as a copy of Heavensward.
Right.
Ah.
Yes.
That's nice.
So then they're like, well, you see, these stones, it turns out, you worship them. It turns out it's the prayer stones for all the 12.
We didn't mean to do that.
No.
but you guys started.
Some idiot
Paul-
called Louis Swa came and he just graffitied our icons on them, and now you pray to them.
Why are you praying to my USB drive?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
the fuck? It's kind of weird. So we have to go around the world and
well, yes.
touch
This is where
the stones.
Menfina's like, I want to go with them. I want to go travel with these humans.
Yeah.
And then the Nofika is like, we're not meant to interfere. And then Halone is like, oh, don't say that. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then they split up, and we all go split up with some of the gods and go collect
Yes.
these stones.
So this is like this is like a moment where we get to learn more. Like we get to like, I don't know if it's bonding, but we learn more about the gods, I guess.
We travel with Derek and are accompanied by Menfina and Halone.
Yes.
Little puppy or whatever. The dog wolf. What's it called?
Fenrir.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a little Fenrir.
Yeah.
There's a Fenrir pup, and then
Menfina is a dwarf rabbit.
Yes.
yeah, little rabbit.
Yes. there's like a moment. There's some stuff that happens. There's Kryl, for instance. She wants to be alone because she wants to like have her own adventure. So she like tells Byragot. No, is it no? Not Byragot.
Nofika and
Alphic.
Byragot.
Oh, was it Nofika and Byragot? She tells like Byragot and Nofika to like fuck off. But then Byragot is like he's concerned.
Yeah.
So he like follows her like still in the background. And so we were yeah.
Well, first we need to do ours first.
We do
head
ours
to
first.
Thaliak's Rock.
Go to
And then
Thaliak.
we go to the Fury's Gaze to get Halones, and that's where Menfina's like, we've told you about us. Tell us about you. What do you guys believe?
Yeah. They ask us about like I think that's where we get the choice to talk about Ishgard, how they like worship Halone.
Like, what do these people think of Halone?
Mm-hmm.
She's dope.
Yeah. And she gives different answers to each of these prompts, which is good.
But yeah, the increase of the war with the dragons, they're like, oh, it upsets us. But like that also explains why all these statues of war have appeared in your realm, Halone.
Yeah. We do that.
That's also when they explain that Dalamud became a thing because Eorzeans started worshipping.
Was that here? Okay, I guess this was here.
Yeah.
It's around here.
Yeah, it's around here. Yeah, that's when they're saying like they also said that they changed based on like how based on the faith of the people, like what they how they think. And that's how when they threw Dalamud up in the sky, they started to refer to it as Menfina's loyal hound, and that's when her dog was born. Essentially.
Yeah, I think they tell us this just before we meet the Lamb of Dalamud at Menfina's.
Yeah, because that's a big moment. So
I actually felt kind of like anxious
I was so
for a
happy
moment.
to see
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to make this like little girl god feel bad.
No,
Like,
yeah,
this dude used to like worship the
he's
end
like
of
the
world.
worst. Yeah.
Well, he
Go
says
with
that. Well, this
Yeah, he
guy
didn't
seems
want
to.
that,
Okay.
Yeah, he seems to suggest.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill.
No, okay. I feel like we're mixing. So let's finish. This is a huge. When Menfina says the thing about Dalamud, it explains everything about why they look the way they do. That's why they look like the statues. Is because that's what people think they look like, and that's why they look the way they do. So that explained that pretty well.
It doesn't explain Menfina's symbol, still, but
that's true.
One theory that I've Rollo?
It sounds like there's still some immutable stuff about them.
But you could argue that moon was added later. That wasn't always
no, but Lakil, we've seen the symbol in Elpis.
Yeah.
One theory that I've seen, which might make you less upset, Lakil, is that it was originally a symbol of the Earth and the Moon, and then with time that evolved as people started perceiving it as the Moon and Dalamud.
Okay, I can go with that. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the Lamb of Dalamud thing then, because that's a big moment. So all throughout this, we've sort of seen the gods being very like they care very much for like their children.
They're worshippers.
They're worshippers. They're children.
I mean, Menfina even says that she like loves you. Like,
Yeah. And then we see someone who's praying to Menfina's stone, and I think one of you said it immediately, like it's a Lamb of Dalamud or something, as a joke. And then it turns out it's a former Lamb of Dalamud who's praying for forgiveness. Lambs of Dalamud, of course, for 1.0 players and also Realm Reborn players, you know, these were really bad people. Like they killed people. They just killed people. They sacrificed people for their like
sacrificed them for Dalamud.
For Dalamud. They deal with like this whole like concept of like divine forgiveness and like the gods, like the god might even hate him because of what he's done, because he misrepresented her.
Yes.
I cannot believe that we got a Lambs of Dalamud slight redemption arc.
Right.
And then also went along with, but not all Lambs of Dalamud.
Right. Because don't forget, there were some fuckers in there that actually did this.
Well, he presents it as if like the original religion or belief
Mhm.
was just to worship them in like in a sort of peaceful way, and
Yeah.
then once it started to turn red, that well, like red and bigger, they got more fervent, and then
Yeah.
like bad factors started entering their belief system.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Rollo. Don't judge the organization.
Yeah.
Judge the individual.
Well, they started off nice. Yeah, that is true. They were like a peaceful little. I mean, they were still a cult technically.
Not that
but
we ever saw this.
No.
This all happened before we ever were introduced to them.
This is
All the
new
ones we
information.
killed, it was fully merited. It's
Yes, they were the bad ones. Yeah, so there's like a moment where he walks off, and that's when Menfina says, "Yeah." Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, first he's like, you killed all my friends. Kill me.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
And then
Hey,
Derek's
I
like,
get this a
no.
lot, you know.
yeah.
Derek's like, don't make gods of people.
Right.
Gods are gods and people are people.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, they were layering it on so thick with Derek in this quest line that I'm going to be upset if this is just supposed to be a red herring. There is no way he's not Oshon. He even spoke like a god there, which is weird.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, as the lamb walks off, that's when Minfina whispers something.
What does she whisper again? Is that when she just says... Oh, she says something. She says
something like, "You'll be okay, little one."
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then he's like, huh?
Yeah.
You said something.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done. So that's it. We've touched all that. We got all the information from the stones. We can now...
From our 3 rocks.
Yeah,
we can meet up with the others.
We meet up with the others. We're ready to read.
For some reason,
the
we picked
cipher.
Kryl.
What did you say?
Yeah.
For some reason, we picked to go check out.
Oh, we checked on her.
Oh yeah, because Derek's like, didn't you think there was something weird with Kryl? And then you can say no, and he's like, oh, I think
Yeah.
maybe I missed something. But if you pick, you can also reaffirm him.
Yeah. And then we go to her. That's when, with all the stuff I said before, with she wanted to be alone and all that. And we meet up with her, and she's like, there is this whole part of the quest where we have to like find Byragot as well. But anyways, we get to her, and she's like, I wanted to be alone because I wanted to like do my own adventure, without
so
being
the gods are
handheld.
encouraging our exploration and discovery of knowledge, so I wanted to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
She does mention being afraid of Odin.
Yes, she was. That was funny. She was afraid of Odin.
They, I don't know if she was just lying, but Nafika, or not Nafika, sorry, Big Naturals is, I can't remember her name.
A big.
Nafika.
No,
Oh,
Yeah,
Nafika.
Nafika.
Okay,
It is
Nafika.
Nafika, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Venus forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nafika or whatever, the Big Naturals,
Yeah, no.
She mentions when she's like trying to lie to you about where Kryl actually is.
Oh yeah.
She says like, oh yeah, like just the elementals just had to catch up with them, and
Yes.
they talk your ear off or whatever. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, she might have been lying about that.
Yes.
But
She might have, but that was interesting that she mentioned that. Yeah. Are they like part the mystery of the elementals?
Nafika, I have so many questions for you.
Yeah. Okay, so we go back. We go back to the cipher, and we unleash the information somehow,
Yeah.
and they just kind of dissolve into the thing, and we can read it now. And she reads essentially their job
all the
descriptions.
gods and
Yeah, it's just
what they're the god of.
yeah. But then it says the 13th god, unnamed, who shall be unnamed, always watching over or something. There was an instant black and white moment for me.
This
I
was
said, it's the Watcher.
mega.
And then a few seconds later, they say it in the game.
Maybe it's the Watcher.
Yeah.
But that was such a boggers reveal.
Yes. Because the
It's a
Watcher hasn't made
13th
any
god.
sense. Like, I still
This
don't...
is just like the Zodiac in real life, the secret 13th Zodiac.
Yeah.
Where is this? Why? What does he
We're
do?
not supposed to know about it.
It's
No.
so
Right,
crazy.
Yeah.
He watches. It's
He
watching
watches.
time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch.
He's watching over the
Is
gods,
he
I
like
guess.
the
Who watches the
arbiter of
Watcher?
The gods.
So
Yeah.
No, he
So yeah, that's
tells you his
essentially where the
purpose
quest.
already.
Yeah.
That's essentially where the quest ends. Once we find this out. We're like,
Well,
yeah,
there's a moment
well,
with Derek at the very end.
Yeah, where Snoggarm's like, sometimes I feel like he's just gonna disappear one day.
Yeah, which is, according to the myth, exactly what happened to Oshan. So, and she's like, she's being a little, that's a weird thing to say. So I think she suspects it too.
Yes.
Because she knows that myth. She's a big, like, 12 fangirl. So
Yeah.
there's no way she didn't understand what she was saying there. And then we meet him at the end, and he just lays it on even more. I don't even remember what he says, but he is so sus now. Like, he's definitely Oshan.
Well, he talks about how he's surprised how much he's enjoyed spending time with us, but all meetings must end one day. You'll have to leave each other.
Yeah, and also Oshan.
Sad, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and Oshan is all about like being alone. He's like the lone, like he walks. He's just a wanderer. So and they talk about it constantly in this quest, how like lonely he is, and like it's that's him.
And there's something with the Lamb of Dalamud scene in particular, he also talks about how like, did I overstep myself? Like how the gods feel like they don't need to. They're not supposed to interfere with their worshippers.
Yeah,
like even the words he's using to like describe other people, it's like I like spending time, or like spending time with people, or like humans, or man, something like that, where it's not like it's not something a normal person would say.
So it makes me wonder then, because the other gods clearly can't tell that it's him, I think, but
or they're pretending. Hard.
But has Oshan perhaps been gone so long that they don't remember what he looks like? Or don't even know who he is anymore.
I mean, he might be.
He's wearing
it. They don't recognize. It's also possible he doesn't even know. Like, it's been so long that like it's lost from his memory that he is Oshan.
Yeah, because remember, Oshan walked away in the creation myth, which is, I mean, tens of thousands of years ago, even more. I don't know. We don't know when the creation myth like is supposed to have happened. It's a myth.
Ages ago.
But yeah, it's a long time ago. It's before the first men, right? So
well, I mean, I guess we kind of get the confirmation now that this just happened after the Sundering split.
Yeah.
That they were pretty much immediately got to work to stabilizing the state of the universe.
Yes.
Or the star.
Yep. Yeah, interesting, very intriguing, very satisfying quest line, I will say. I didn't think I'd be happy with this, but I am. So, yeah.
This is the first time where I've, like, usually when the 24-man comes out, I'm like, yeah, cool, do the raid, get the gear. Post-quest stories, like, okay, leading to the next one.
Yeah.
This is the first time I was, like, actively looking forward to it over the raid.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, cool, I did the raid, that was great. I want to get more.
Yeah.
I want to get more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to wait 8 months.
And
yes.
I mean, we can. I mean, I guess we're at the end of.
Yes.
Not anything else to say on that.
Yeah.
But the idea that, it's confirmed basically that they're either associated with Heidelin in her past life, maybe, or creations, or something similar to the Watcher. Maybe not exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's what confuses me, because we know, at least according to the tales from the Dawn that was on the website, it very much implied that the Watcher came about when Heidelin was summoned.
Yes.
That like the Watcher's existence was a function of that. I don't know if it's gotten that far that it makes it feel as if the 12's existence was a function of Heidelin being summoned. Which is also what makes me think that possibly the Watcher is not the 13th.
I don't want the Watcher to be the 13th, because then, I mean, Gra has already said, I think it's him. It wouldn't be as interesting.
Because either way, like it's an easy conclusion to make that the Watcher is the one who watches.
And the more mythical they are, the better.
One that watches,
yeah.
I am the one who watch.
But he does. I mean, he has a whole fucking library. Like
Yes.
he
Yeah,
But
sure.
the other thing is, if it's not the Watcher, I only have 2 other candidates that I can think of could be the 13th. Well, there's technically 4, but I don't think it's Derek.
Okay.
I
Do you
think
think it's
Derek
the
is
Rogadin?
Oh, that would be a twist
No.
if it was.
That would be
No
crazy.
game.
I think
What a twist.
I have a hunch she's in on it somehow.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
wow.
either she's part of the the kind of game, the not cat and mouse, but like the mystery.
I've almost been thinking that if it's the Watcher, like the shoe bill is his like hidden.
That's
Animal.
here's the thing. I was just thinking the shoe bill was the Watcher,
right.
and that's unrelated.
Okay. Yeah. Because
I mean, the thing about the shoe bill is that like they explicitly, when we were in Elpis, they said it's like its ether could not be detected within it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. True.
And why wouldn't the gods be able to travel to wherever they want?
It could be being a dynamist too.
The gods can turn into a little animal if they want, and why wouldn't they be able to travel to Elpis? Why not? The gods. So it could be the shoe.
Well, it's not their realm to look over. I don't know if they would. Can they go back?
Why not? They're gods.
Well, they are gods.
How mythical do you want them to be? Like,
I don't know if we've never seen evidence they can time travel.
No, but
Alphic being the god of time.
Should
the gods.
I don't know. They are gods.
We know at the end of the day it's just going to be they're all ancients.
Well, no, okay. So
but until we get to that, let's enjoy them being mythical.
think they used to be ancients. I think that's probably where it's going.
I think there's very strong evidence that they used to be ancients in some way, based on dialogue.
There's some dialogue that is revealing that a little. But that doesn't mean that they're not gods now, because what they were does not dictate what they are now. But they are gods now.
The thing is, like, they might be gods in a sense, like, they have to have been created at some point. They didn't just come out of the ether unknowingly. Nothing in this world does.
Right.
But that doesn't mean they're primals.
No.
Yeah.
They could have been created in another manner.
Yes. I agree.
I mean, they could also just straight up be ancients are empowered the same way primals are. I mean, like, we don't know exactly what the fucking ancient is.
No.
Who's to say they can't, a bunch of like mortal people willing
we
them
know
with
ancients
dynamis.
can change their form. We've seen it with both Hermes and Hades.
Yes, it's true. But they did specifically say that they could change based on what we like our beliefs. Like, it's a very different system.
Yes,
feels.
they said that they were and I think I can't remember who it was. It might have been Graham, might have been Kryl. They specifically said that like maybe it's Dynamis specifically that's affecting the like how they appear to us.
Yeah. This could be something new that we have never encountered in terms of like how they exist. So, and that's what's exciting.
Ideally it is.
Yeah. I still think they are rooted in the ancients, but I think.
I mean, they have to be. We've seen the symbols of the 12 in Elpis.
Yeah, it is, and also there's should we just mention that real quick now, or do you feel like that is too okay?
No, I think we should mention it.
There is a quest line in Elpis, where in that like 12 area, it's called 12 something, I think. No, it's not. Oh, sorry, it's
not actually. It's in Point
actually.
Mokos.
Yeah, it's all the way up there. There
are two NPCs, a brother and sister, and at one point during this whole quest line, and one of the brother is said to be a master of time magic.
Yes.
But at one point, the sister
Yeah.
says a line of dialogue to her brother, which is the exact same line, except for the name,
Yeah.
that Nemea says to Alphic.
Yes. Word by word. So except for the name, like other than that, it's just complete copy paste. So I think.
This really... Sorry, I haven't done a lot of the quest in Elpis in a while. Are these the NPCs that people think are the twins, or is this a different quest line?
The twins.
I didn't know that people thought that any of the there are people. Well, I don't think.
Oh, I haven't heard that. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I forgot where it was. Some pretty. Okay, it is those NPCs.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Which raises some interesting questions too.
Yeah, if that is the case, then yeah.
If that is true, but I feel like at this,
So
That's a lot
what
of
you're saying,
interconnectivity, if that's true.
Rollo,
That
what
the-
you're saying, Rollo, is that these ancients, which became two gods, also have their souls
Well,
within
I-
Alpha and
I-
Alliance,
no.
which means
No,
Mikhail,
no.
that
Shut
we
up.
No,
can
Mela.
be Oshan.
I think that's an old theory that has
done it.
now collapsed. Now that we're
No.
seeing that they're actually
Yes.
probably one of the 12.
No, you've done it, Rollo. You've solved it yet again.
No,
Rollo
because
didn't solve it. This is an old theory someone else came up with.
Where we can still be Oshan.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
theory
I-
confirmed collapsed.
No.
It is. So the idea that they come from the ancients, I think, is just what it is.
And what is also supported by this is that during this quest line, you help this pair of
Yes.
siblings create the mobs that appear directly before the Althic and the Maya fight.
Yes.
A behemoth and a behemoth.
A behemoth.
And the little
The
cow things.
yeah. So, I think that's. Anything else to add, Rollo? Sorry, you were.
Only reason why I brought that up is just because it could be maybe hinting that like the gods. I mean, like let's just say maybe it is Alizé and Alphino's ancient forms or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that the gods are also at the same time based off these ancients, to where maybe these people were split. Or they were sundered, and all their souls are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe with Heidelin recreating them somehow, or they're more similar to the Watcher. Maybe
See,
that's just
Yeah. We don't.
football theory.
That's just
Yeah.
So my particular issue with that is that it doesn't seem like the 12 are sundered. They seem to only
No.
exist on the source.
Yeah, there's something weird. Yeah, they're very
But-
unique.
If we are to believe that cutscene that we saw at the very end of 6.2 with Golbez,
Mhm.
the Watcher is not sundered.
No.
Or the Watcher is sundered,
Well,
sorry.
yeah. True. Well, it's a big mystery. Lots of theories that are going to be crafted from this. And then we have to wait 8 months
8
for the
months?
next patch. So
We'll know
for the
the
continuation,
expansion
I
by
mean,
then.
yeah.
No, there won't.
Sorry, what? What will there be?
There won't be another. We'll know the expansion.
we'll
Sorry,
know
I,
the
thought you, I thought you said there will be an expansion, but I was like, whoa, that's soon.
No. Okay, well, that is definitely it. Sorry for those that were. We only had like 2 questions from the syndicate, so we could easily just move that to next week. But thanks for watching. That is it for today. We'll be back next week at the same time, same place, half an hour later than usual. We'll be back tomorrow with CK3.
K3.
Hope to see you all there. If not, we'll see you next
frosty.
week. Stay frosty.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.